Yeah, thank you, Doc.
Soon we will be going there, Doc. Soon.
Okay, well, this
We
is
will visit
September.
you at
Oh, good.
Sayan.
September 7th, 2024. And I am speaking with the teachers, international teachers who are coming to the US. And some of them, like Joel here, is already here. He arrived. When did you arrive? How many days are you now in America?
Almost a week now, Doc.
Almost a week. Yeah. So have you seen
Yes.
anything yet, Mike? Have you taken him to Memphis or anywhere?
Yes po.
Yeah, to
Where did you
Memphis
go?
River area, and then to what lake was that?
Mississippi, River Park.
Okay.
Yeah, and
River
also we
Park.
visited already the Asian store.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
Asian.
Walmart.
What else?
Walmart. Yeah, you got Walmart already. Good.
Outlet. Yes, the
Yeah.
outlet.
So
And still
you have to come
more.
my way here. I'm
Yeah.
4 hours away, but there is a balloon festival next weekend. I don't know if
Yes po, in Harrison. Yeah.
yeah.
We Brinkley teachers are planning to go there.
Okay. Well, Miss
Yes,
Lisa's out of town. She's gonna be in Florida. Otherwise, she would have hosted you guys. But you're welcome to stay with me after you do the balloon thing. But there's also hotels there, of course. But because it's a balloon festival, it might be hard for you to find a hotel. But I have that guest house if you ever need it. So anyway, but whatever. I want to meet Joel and Myrna. And is that your son right there behind you?
Yes, Doc. Actually, Doc, I already met Ma'am Lisa
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
you met
Brinkley.
Lisa. Oh yeah, last
Yeah,
week.
that's right. Yes.
Yeah. She was, yeah, I assigned her because I was, where I'm going there next week, this
Okay.
Thursday. So I will see you all Thursday.
See you there next week.
Yeah, next week. And so I'll try to come once or twice a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's suppose we have a contract for weekly. So if you
Okay.
don't see me, it's gonna be Lisa or Debbie, Miss Gibson.
Uh,
So, but anyway, but yeah, they work for me. So
Yes.
yeah, but I think they both will do a good job. I think Miss Gibson, she's your computer science. Miss Gibson is gonna be she's math and science. Well, she's everything. She knows literacy too, but her specialty is really math and science. So that's why I wanted her to come too at least once a month so she could check with the science teachers. And so anyway, I don't think she went to elementary at all. Mike, did she?
Not yet po.
Yeah. Well, it was my fault because I forgot to remind her that we have elementary teachers now. So they're so used to the last year's schedule where it was only high school. Yeah. Anyway,
And
so
yes po. And now Mr. Patrick Ramos, my former student, is here. I asked him to
yeah.
join and to share his experience in applying here in the USA.
Yeah, that sounds good. Hi, Patrick. Hi, hang on before we go to Patrick. I wanna talk to you, Elmer. What's your Joel? I'm sorry, Joel. What is your impression of America, though? Your first impression when you came?
Wala.
it's actually good, Doc.
Yeah.
When it comes to the students, well, number one is the language barrier.
Yeah. For
Yeah,
whom?
because they speak in slang, Yeah, it's fast.
Yeah.
So for us
it's fast.
Filipino, we need to grasp how they speak,
They speak differently. The accent is
those
different. Is
words.
that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
that's
The
right.
accent is different. Yeah. So how did you handle that? Did you tell them to slow down? What did you do?
I was just trying to if I didn't understand them, I just ask them to
Repeat.
kind of repeat the word or pardon. Say that.
Yeah.
Pardon.
Yeah. Say it again. Just say it again.
Yeah, say it again or pardon. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Hi, Doc.
Mira's here.
Well, hello. Is Myrna over there?
Yeah.
Myrna, have you started too? Have you started working too?
We arrived 27. I reported 28.
Wow, immediately.
I had a chance to be with my students, and I was just told by my coach and the assistant principal just to have this chance of getting to know you. So what I did was to ask my students to vision themselves 3 years from now, 5 years from now, and then 8 years from now. So with that, I got the chance to know them, what they want in life.
Good goals, yeah.
And then the following day was shortened classes because we had our PTC, and I got to have the chance to meet the parents.
Okay. Parent-teacher conference already? That was
what?
More of an open house, right? It's like an open house. Is that what it was?
Yes. Yeah. And then it's a school break.
school break. That was cool.
Yeah.
You had a break already for 3 days? How many days did you have?
No, we started our break Friday.
Okay.
Then Monday is Labor Day.
Yes.
So our break would be until Monday. So we'll go back to school on a Tuesday.
Yeah, so your schedule will be like that because you have an all-year school in your school, but Joel
Yes.
does not. So Joel has a traditional schedule. So a
Yes,
lot
yes.
of times you'll be off, but he is not.
Yes.
It's
But it's
okay.
okay.
Yeah.
But we are very thankful for a smooth flight and for the chance given to us to be here. Finally, we are now in almost the same time zone.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
Waiting for the rest.
You are. Yeah, you are. You're only 4 hours from me now. But
Oh, yeah, yes.
I'll be there on Thursday. So actually, it
Mhm.
was Wednesday night when I'll be there that night. So I'm gonna invite you all to come to my hotel, so you all can come
Okay.
eat with me. There's a big, nice
Yeah.
buffet in the hotel.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Yeah. So maybe I don't know who wants to come, but I'll talk to you later about that.
We
But
are planning to visit Jeff and Mr. Benedict as soon as they arrive.
okay. So when are they arriving?
Hopefully within this week. Hopefully
Okay.
within this week. This is
Alam mo,
coming week.
Mirna,
Sounds cool. Yeah, that sounds
Erwin!
cool.
Basta, Erwin, I'm more than happy for you. Basta, wait lang.
See, Erwin
nakakainis
is
si Sir Mike eh. Dok, si Sir Mike talaga sa larin.
yeah. Erwin is lucky because he's got H1B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doc, I think the more you say it, the more it attracts. Kasi
Yeah,
sabi
you
ko,
need to claim it, yes.
remember Sir Ma'am Mirna, sabi ko, the reason why we were not able to be hired by West Memphis is because it's an H1B. And after that, the perimeter is an H1B. Sa isip-isip ko pa rin H1B.
Yeah.
And
It's
so,
worth the wait.
Yeah.
Worth the
yes.
wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doc Merlina, we're just
Yeah.
leaving because Joel will have his eye checkup for driving. So
Okay.
for the meantime, I'll be out here. But Mike has another account. So
Sounds good. Okay.
we'll
Thank
send
you
you.
so much and welcome. Okay. All right.
Okay,
Thanks for
thank
talking
you.
to us. Okay. Bye-bye.
Erwin, chat, Erwin.
See you on Wednesday.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay.
Patrick, binigay ko na kay Sir Mike yung mga steps ha for the CFO. Okay.
All right. Well, see, we have Arnell here too. Who was it? Mike who said something about somebody's gonna come on. Did you say Patrick? Mike, where's
Yes, po.
Patrick? He's not on though.
Yes, Doc.
Oh, there you are, Patrick. Hello. Are you
Am I
already in the
audible, Doc?
US, Patrick? Are you already in the US?
Not yet. Not
Oh.
yet, Doc.
Okay. So when are you coming?
My intended date is October 5.
Okay, October 5. Not bad. What school is that? What school are you going to be at?
At Fitz MacArthur,
In what state?
Beaumont Independent School District at Texas.
Texas. Okay, good. So you'll be with Sheila then, right? Sheila's there?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
So, in the same apartment, we're living at the same apartment.
That's gonna be a good support for you that you have somebody there. Yeah. So are you excited? Are you already are you bringing your family with you?
No, ma'am.
Not yet. You have a wife and how many kids?
Not yet.
No, not yet. Okay. Well, that's cool. Anyway, so hopefully we all will meet here in America when you all have come. Hopefully you will travel to see Mike and Mike will bring you here. Maybe.
Yes.
Mike, is that right?
Sir Mike was my high school teacher.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So
Mike looks young to be your high school teacher. I thought you will be about close to the same age or he's a little good. Okay. All right. Well, I'm so proud of Mike too, though, because he had really brought a lot of people here too. So, it's been a really great help. So
super thankful to Sir Mike.
Yeah. So what are you in the paperwork part? Like everything is already, are you waiting for approval? What are you waiting for?
Embassy
I'm
interview.
ready to fill out my DS-160, Doc.
You already have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
On Monday po, I will pay for my embassy interview.
Okay. So good luck on that. I think what you want to do is they're gonna want to ask you things that are on the DS-160. So they're gonna want to know if they're gonna want to know if you know, like what your pay will be. So make sure you know that, how much will you be paid and where are you gonna stay. So if they want the address, you want to make sure you have that address. And then just basic things that are, just be familiar with the one in your contract. Okay.
Ma'am
And what-
Sheila told me that review my DS 2019 and job offer.
okay, yeah.
The
Yeah. Good, because Sheila's a great help on that, because yeah, interviews, I've not heard of anybody failing the at least in our group, I've not heard of anyone failing the interview, the embassy interview. So but I've heard other people, but you know, anyway. So that's what it is. And I am so excited you all are coming, and Joel is already here, Myrna's already here, Mike, I think Glory Faye and Elmer, did you say? Yeah. Okay. How about, we have a new guy here. What's his name? Rick Bautista. Is that Rick Ryan? Rick Ryan Bautista, are you new? I've never seen your name before.
Doc, it's Giselle. He's not new, Doc. He's with us a couple of times already.
Already. Well, see, Giselle, your memory is better than mine. Thank you, Giselle.
He's our co-teacher, Doc. He's Girly's co-teacher and my former co-teacher. That's why.
Maybe when I see his can you come on, Rick Ryan? Let me see. Maybe I'll remember it if he comes on, because right now I just see his picture. Bautista sounds familiar. Uh-oh, we have audio issues. Okay, you'll have to fix your audio because we're having issues with your audio. Mr. Bautista, you have audio problems. Am I the only one having problems with hearing him? Giselle, can you hear him?
Yeah, it's static, Doc. It's the same.
Static.
I guess there's
Yeah.
a problem. Yes, Doc.
You'll have to come back in. You have to come back in. So Giselle, what are you? I noticed that you are applying in Alaska because I had filled out a recommendation, a survey thing for you in Juneau,
Yes.
Juneau, Alaska.
Yes, Doc.
Have you heard
Yes,
back from
Doc.
them? Have you heard back from them?
They are I received an email from them. They don't sponsor, Doc, so that's why they're asking me if I'm already there or if I already have my visa. But then I said no. I just tried, Doc, to apply in Alaska.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's gonna be very cold. So if you end up there, you just have to make sure that you stay warm because it's very
yeah,
cold.
yeah, but I don't have after that I don't have feedback, Doc. As of now, Doc, I enrolled myself in a master's degree in SPED.
Okay.
I just enrolled it yesterday. So while
that's a big
waiting,
plus. Yeah. That's a big
while
plus for
waiting
you.
for yes, Doc. So while waiting for blessings or for a job, I'll focus first on my study.
Yeah, because special ed seems to be easier to get. Elementary is harder because there's so many elementary teachers. You know, there's a saying here in America that's a dime a dozen. That means there's really a lot of teachers that are going for elementary. So we are able to bring in high school teachers faster than elementary is what I noticed. You know, this is my 4th year of helping, and that's what I noticed, that the high school teachers, I guess with your specialization, seem to be easier to come. But you know, but I think if you really continue to work, Giselle, make sure that you say you are willing to pay. If you are really willing to pay, that you say that your paperwork's, you know, ready and that you're willing to pay. So you all you have to do is you need a job offer, you know,
Yes, Doc.
from them. And then you know, later on you can give them a sample of, you know, get a sample from someone about a job letter that has all the pieces. And then that way, you know, that will help them. So hopefully you will hear back. And hopefully if you Fran and and Maria's mom,
Why?
Marlon.
Kaya
The
lang,
three
job
of you
offer
will
ko.
apply together. That would be nice if you will room together, you know? I think that would
Yes,
be good for you all. So are we
That's
able
we
to
are
get Rick Ryan back, Ham?
yes, that's what, and why we're doing the we're applying for the same school. So we will be looking for job postings. Then I'm going to, if I've seen their posting, I'm going to let them know so that
Yeah.
we can apply, the both of us, the three of us.
That'd be cool. Yeah. I am still hopeful because you know, I think what the interviews are available now are October, I think, but no, you know, there's always some cancellation. So all you have to do is go ahead and, you know, if you already have a job offer, go ahead and have a schedule then, and then hopefully if there's something that will open earlier, you know, you continue to check on it. If somebody cancels, it might open a spot. So yeah. So Rick Ryan, are you able to come back? Rick Ryan? Mr. Bautista?
Ay, signal.
What? I'm trying to look at chat too. Let me see. I think the signal is weak, he says. So, okay, you said congratulations, Rick, Patrick. Erwin, what is the deal? Did you hear if is did you hear anything? Did Erwin leave? I didn't even see
No,
him.
Doc.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
still here, Doc.
Why did you say congratulations to him? Did you know if he got a job?
Yes.
Oh, I got
Doc,
confused.
yes.
Yeah. Well, Patrick is the one we talked earlier. Mr. Ryan is what I'm talking about today. I am telling you.
Sir Patrick is a student of.
He's a student of mine.
Sir-
Yeah, it just did earlier. I got so confused because of the many names. But hey, Rick Ryan, are you able to get your audio? My age is showing, you guys. I get things all the time now. That's horrible. But
It's
anyhow,
okay, Doc.
it's
It's out of the factors.
yeah, I'm telling you. Okay, so who else want to talk then?
Hello, Doc. Good evening.
Who? There's but there's
Hello,
a few
Doc.
more
Good
people.
evening. Can you hear me?
Who is this?
It's
Yeah,
Rick
there you are.
Ryan. Doc.
Oh yeah, I remember you
Ryan.
now. Yeah, Rick Ryan. Yeah, you have been here before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rick Ryan, do you have any prospect on jobs? Have you applied everywhere?
Yeah.
You have. Have you had any interviews yet? Have you had did anybody schedule an interview with you yet by Zoom?
For the not yet because
We still have problems with your audio. You might have to come. Well, you might have
no,
to.
Doc.
What? Who said no? So sorry. You'll have to come back in because we cannot understand what you just said. How about Arnell? Arnell, are you coming to the US or are you already in the US, Arnell?
Actually, I am in the USA, Doc, at
Yeah?
Chester, Illinois. Hi,
Chester,
Doc
where?
Merlina. I miss
Hey.
you so much.
Well, miss you too. Hey, are you in Iowa, did you say? What state?
I'm already here at Chester, Illinois.
Illinois. Okay. Is that close to Chicago? How far is that from Chicago?
I think that is almost an hour.
Well, that's not bad.
Chester, Illinois to Chicago. So we
Okay.
are four here in our house.
Okay.
Two of them are from Mindanao and two are from Luzon.
Okay. Were they members of our group here or no?
I'm only the one. I'm
You're the
only
only
the
one.
member of this group.
Okay.
Actually,
So what,
in we applied for practical solution, and then we got hard, and then we come here in America on August 9, and then we started our orientation last August 14, and we had our open house already,
Mhm.
and we got our SSN and our state ID with the help of our boss, which is Mrs. Briggs, our superintendent. She's
Oh,
very
that's very good.
accommodating.
That's always a good
And I
sign.
already have my license also, and I'm
Wow.
also qualified, not only special education teacher, but a principal
Wow, nice.
position.
Congratulations. Congratulations. I am very proud of you. That is sounds like you have a very supportive administrator, and that's always a good sign, especially if they're that hands-on. What's the population of the school? Must be a smaller
I think
school.
in high school it's almost 500, I think, and then we are 24 teachers.
Okay, so
And
that's a very small school. Okay.
yes, it is also a small town.
Okay.
Last night we attended the football game, and it's very interesting to watch.
It's fun, right?
And we
Yeah.
won. Our school won
Good job. Yeah.
out of 56 out of 6.
Nice.
It's very fun. And this
Yeah.
coming weekend there will be a homecoming for the at Chester, and it
Well,
will be fun.
I'm proud of you. Are you gonna do some kind of club like chess club or anything like that there? Do some kind of extracurricular.
Since I'm a tournament director at the Philippines for badminton, but there's no badminton here.
Well, you need to
Hopefully.
ask your administrator if you can form one. You don't have to go to tournaments, but you can at least, that's an exercise thing. But you can teach kids because that is part of our culture. Badminton is pretty big, it's a very big part of our culture because every time we go to the beach or whatever, we always play that or in our yard, right? So it doesn't hurt to teach them about something, some things that we played in the Philippines. That's why I'm teaching chess. Like in the senior center here, I'm teaching chess, and then I'm teaching chess in the community so that I want them to know some Asian games. And also Mahjong. I'm teaching Mahjong. In fact, Mike and them, Mike and them, you can order a Mahjong set in Amazon. Go to Amazon.com and then make sure that it's numbered. It has to say numbered because if it's not numbered, you're gonna have problems. So yeah. So if you I always recommend folks to bring your culture here. Like learn from American culture, of course, but also bring your own. Are you on J1 or are you on H1B visa?
I'm on J1 visa.
Okay. Well, definitely you have to come up with some kind of cultural something, right? That's required to send to your agency or to your sponsor. Are you required to send? Yeah. So
yes, actually, I had my interview with my J1 visa, Casey Hoover. She asked me about my insurance here.
Okay.
So we got a school insurance here only for dental and vision.
Okay. Yeah, sounds like your school is really good and very accommodating. So I'm proud that you found. How did you find them? Did you just look on School Spring?
Okay, actually our consultancy was the one who informed from the school district, and we had our interview then we passed the interview.
Okay, awesome. Did you say you are 4 people in the house, in the apartment?
Actually, yes, we are 4. Okay, let me Sir Hansel from Luzon. Say hi, sir. He's doing the laundry job.
Oh,
Hi.
sorry, we put you in a spot. Hello. Hello,
Dr.
you're on
Merlina.
Zoom. It's gonna be published in the YouTube, so I hope it's
How
okay.
are you? How are you,
Hello.
ma'am?
How's everything on your first few weeks of school? Is it okay? Do the kids?
Yes, it was good. Everyone is accommodating. Is accommodating us with regard to our needs. They are very willing to help. Especially our superintendent. She was with us all the way, so that it will not be hard for us to adjust. And of course, if there are things that we need, they will provide us the things that we need so that it will be easier for us to work.
Nice.
And of course, to adjust easily in the community and environment here.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you're already fitting in the community. Your apartment look nice. It looks nice.
What?
Is that
I'm sorry.
4-bedroom?
What?
Is your apartment 4-bedroom?
Yes, ma'am. It is a 4-bedroom house. So
House,
each
okay.
one of us has their own bedroom
Yeah, that's
for
perfect.
us to, yes.
Okay. What is the rent there in in that area, since it's an hour from Chicago? What is the rent?
I'm sorry, ma'am. Come
What is the rent?
again.
What is the monthly rental?
The monthly rental. So our house costs $2,400 for a month. So it
Okay.
is divided into four. So each one of us will
600.
pay $600 a month to pay the 2,400.
That must be a very big house then, because that's huge. So it sounds like a
Yes,
house.
yes, it's for us it's a big house already, and it has good I mean it has good facilities. The bedrooms are spacious, and of
Mhm.
course the living area and the kitchen is well conducive for us.
Very good.
It has already the refrigerator and the
Appliances.
gas range for us to cook our food and stock our food for future cooking.
Okay. How about your bedroom furniture and living room furniture? Did they provide those?
Yes.
Oh, so it's a furnished house. That's why it's
Okay, I
expensive.
have a friend also, Doc Merlina from
Uh-huh.
Davao.
Davao.
He
Okay.
is
Oi,
Alex Albino.
how are
Hi,
you?
ma'am. Good morning.
Yeah, hi, I'm
I'm doing
Merlina. Yeah,
fine.
I'm Dr. McCullough. Yeah. So welcome to
Hi,
America. That is
Alex.
so cool that you're here now. Are you
Oh,
loving
yeah.
it? Do you like it? You like it
Yeah, super.
so far?
Yeah,
Do
especially
the,
here in Chester. We like
yeah,
this area.
do students behave themselves? Do they behave okay?
Yeah, but there are some instances there's some instances that they feel bored, like, they want to do something.
Okay. Do you know a lot of strategies? Do you know a lot of strategies you could use? Like, what do you teach? What grade do you teach and what subject?
First grade, special ed.
Ah, okay. Well, that should be, you should have a lot of things that are, like kinesthetic stuff or things with letters. Do you have learning
Mhm.
stations and learning centers? Do you have that set up?
Actually, in my classroom, we are two teachers there.
Okay.
One of the teacher is handling special ed kindergarten,
Mm-hmm.
and there are times that our students from her kindergarten and from my first grader will use the same room at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, because they are developmentally behind, so that would make sense actually. So they're still gonna learn about the same things, like basic stuff, right? So what are you teaching them right now? Are you doing like a letter a week, or how are you introducing like the letters and the sounds and all that? How are you doing that, or are you already doing that?
Yeah, I've been doing. My colleagues in first grade teachers taught me what are the things to be done during the lessons,
Okay.
and they are still willing to help me,
Mm-hmm.
especially in teaching. The way of teaching here, they're willing to help when I need their help.
Okay. I had posted a few if you have time, sometimes I have posted a lot of learning stations. It's on my YouTube, no, it's on YouTube, it's on Facebook. So if you ask Arnell about
Oh,
how to become a member, and then I have learning stations for kindergarten and first grade you may want to look at, because it tells you what are some centers you could set up, and that's fun. It makes it's very hands-on. So you may want to check it out.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
will ask Arnel about that.
Yeah. You can actually use Chat GPT. Do you use Chat GPT? AI and
Sometimes.
okay. When you go to Chat GPT, you need to just put learning stations for first graders or for kindergarten. If you do that, or then
Okay.
it would list you, and you decide include you include like 2 bullets or 3 bullets with materials and activities. Say that, and then let's see what is listed. You can ask for 20 things. You can ask for 10. So try that because you will get a list of them and it tells you exactly what materials you're going to need and what activities you will do. Okay. All right. Well, welcome to
Okay,
America.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Nice meeting you. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. Yeah. All right. Good job. I'm proud of those folks that are already here. 4 in the house, huh? So how are you doing that? Who got the master bedroom? There's always a master bedroom. Did you get the master bedroom or the first person?
No, actually the Cheryl who got the master bedroom, second floor.
Okay.
I got one small one.
Okay. Well, what
Doc
happened?
Marlena,
Uh-huh.
we will do exercise here in the morning,
Nice.
walking,
Okay.
because we're getting fat. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you again. And yes, it's a good idea to walk and exercise because in America the food is very fattening. Yeah, the food. Yeah, and there's so much food. I mean, you know, you could you could eat a lot when you get here. It's so easy to gain 10, 20 pounds the first month. You know, so you know, if it will add up, if you gain that much and times so many months, you're going to be 200 pounds before you know it. So yeah, so you just have to be careful. I am still working on losing my baby weight. I felt like my excuse is 25 years old. Jet is already 25, so I can't really use him now. So I'm trying to lose my weight myself because I came to the US in 87 and I came, you know, I went to school here at Arkansas State University. And so I got all my education here, bachelor's, master's, specialist, and doctorate. And I have gained so much weight. Like it was, you know, by pregnancy, I gained 60, 70 pounds. So, so I had to lose, you know, most of that, but I'm still like halfway there. So hopefully I'll get there. All right, welcome again. And I want to speak with some of those that are new here. I see a few. Now there's more of us now, more than a dozen now. Okay, there's Janelle 2. Do you mind to speak with us? What we usually do is I usually want to practice with you on your interview because the first question on the interview, as those, you know, folks that are already here, they know the first question is tell us about yourself. And it's usually a 2 to 3 minute, you know, introduction about yourself and try to stick with professional information. Like an example with me would be, my name is Merlina McCullough. I'm certified in K-12 literacy and also I certification in administration. My former experiences, my previous experiences include being a teacher, being a principal and curriculum director. I was ESL and have taught or can taught college level, you know, actually specialist and master's level at my alma mater. So those are some experiences that I have. I am now helping teachers to come to the US. So so that is my goal. Somebody's talking. Is it Arnell? You're doing your exercise there, Arnell. So this is your community, huh?
Yes, Doc.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for showing us. Very nice. Yeah. So it looks like a very small community. It looked like a
Yes,
safe
Doc.
one. Okay. So that's the road is this far away from the school or are you close to the school?
Grade school is near from our house, but
it's
high
just
school is
far. So do you walk to school then or do you drive your vehicle?
actually the three of them got friends from grade school to go over with the ride. But me, I buy a scooter.
Okay, that's
What
smart.
I
Very
do,
smart. So you
it's
do a
fun.
scooter. Okay.
Yes, yes, Doc. I buy one scooter for me, and
Okay.
it took me for 7 minutes to arrive
Yeah.
in our school.
That is not bad. Okay, so Janelle, if you don't mind to do that, kind of tell us about your, you know, your name, your what level, you know, can you teach or have you taught, and content area, how many years of experience, and what are your goals? Like, why do you want to come to the US? Okay, so Janelle,
Good
thank you.
Good evening here. and everyone. Good evening. I am Janelle Chu, and I've been a teacher for this is my 7th school year teaching senior high school, specifically grade 11 students. I'm actually handling literature and language subjects here in the Philippines. And it's actually my former teacher, Miss Bonga. Formerly was Miss Lakutab. That's her family name before. So I was actually inspired by her journey here in the United States. Though she was already teaching for several years in the Philippines, she was already I think a master teacher here, and I saw that again her journey with teaching in the US, and I it was just so random that I saw her Facebook post, and I sent her a message like inquiring what is the process of
Coming.
coming. Yes, and she said that she will try to help me with the steps, the
Okay.
process, and she told me that this group, actually, Doc, I was just added to the group chat last week.
With Mike. Okay. Good.
Yes.
So you've been active there? Yeah.
Yes.
You have been
Yes.
active there? Yeah.
I actually haven't sent any message because I'm just waiting for the announcements, and I'm kind of shy.
Observing, yeah. But you can be shy if you're wanting to come to the US. You're gonna have to
Yes.
talk like this. You're doing good. You just have to make sure you look at that camera, because then you're looking at me, okay? And you're doing well. You're very fluent, and as a literacy teacher, that's good. And so 7th year, what do you want? Why do you want to come to the US?
I think I share the same goal with almost all Filipino teachers aiming for a greener pasture. Especially, Doc, that I've been a teacher in the private school. I haven't applying to DepEd. So I was actually inspired again by the success stories of Filipinos.
Okay. Well,
One more.
hang on, Arnel, you're cutting in on us. But anyway, so Janelle, you might want to, instead of going to the greener pasture already, you may want to say something about what cultural things you want to learn. Like, I want to learn about the US culture, the diverse culture of the US, while at the same time, I want to also teach my students about the Philippine culture. So it's like a cultural exchange, especially if you're going to be on J1 visa. It's called a teacher exchange program. That means that you're going to be learning here, and then you're also going to be teaching them about our culture. Okay?
Yes, Doc. Because
Yeah.
at the moment, I really don't know the distinction yet. I'm not that informed about the difference between H1B and J1. But since you mentioned it's more of a cultural exchange, then I will know how to deal with the interviews, how would I answer with during the application process.
Okay.
So
well, if you're a member of that ITSA and Merlina McCullough, if you search me on YouTube, I have maybe 80 videos already with the Zoom, and we have so many topics that are about coming to the US, including strategies and other things. So you may want to, some of them are really long, but you can just like fast forward it or whatever, because you might benefit from it. I think you
yes.
will do well in the interview because you're already fluent. And that's one big thing out of the way. A lot of times, because I have been involved in interviews, I've been invited in interviews, so I kind of know how people do. And and I have been in interviews myself, being an administrator here in the US. I'm retired now, but I actually, had interviewed people before. So I think what we always look for in international teachers is your fluency. So make sure that you're fluent, make sure you're not shy, because if you're shy, the kids are going to think you're weak. and they're gonna misbehave because they think they will eat your lunch. Or they call that they will eat your lunch, which means that they think that they can just get away with it. You don't want them to feel like, you know, you are weak, that you can, that they can get away with it, especially high school. They're gonna try to observe and see, you know, which teacher is weak and which one is, you know, strong. So you wanna, even though you may feel weak inside, but in the outside, you need to show them that, you know, you're in control. I am the teacher. I know what I'm doing, you know, and all this. But private school, you have to remember the distinction. The private school, there is, you know, they're really good anyway, public and private, but especially private schools, very well-behaved kids, right? Because they're paying the tuition. Same in America. If you teach in the private school in America, very, very well-behaved kids, okay? But when you teach public school, especially in big towns, big cities, like capitals of states, you're gonna be having problems if you know, don't have a very good grasp of classroom management. So you're gonna have to make sure that you're very firm, because they're gonna try to push their luck. You're gonna try to, you know, check boundaries, what they can get away with. So the trick to that is that you have to be consistent on your rules, routines, and procedures, right? So you have to tell them, you know, for your first week, even though you may be late coming on, you need to show them these are the, you know, 5 things that we need to, you know, post it also on the wall, that these are the 5 things, like respect may be one of them. You know, respect includes a lot of things. You respect people, you respect things of, you know, people, you know, people's properties and so on. And you know, other things are about, you know, when they could, you know, about noise, you know, I don't know what other things you want to include, but anyway, but respect should be one of the very basic rule that you need to include, because it covers a lot. And then, of course, the routines, you're going to have to practice with them. I don't care what grade they are. You're going to have to practice with them how you want them to line up, how you want them to come in. So you're going to have to wait by that door. You know, if you're always waiting on that door and greeting them and so on, then they're going to know that you're going to be there ready to go. And then when they come in the classroom, make sure that you already have a, you know, the bell ringer activities, that like paperwork or something, like if you're wanting them to do a journal for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, then you already have that ready on their desk. So you train them that when they come in, you go directly to your bell ringer. Okay, and some students, some schools think that, or some students might think, oh, the bell has not rung, so I can, you know, I can still visit, you know, and all this. So you're gonna have to make a rule that when you come in the classroom, this is a learning zone. My classroom used to say learning zone. So as you come in, you're ready to learn. Okay, so but you know, here in America, another challenge is about technology. So I do not know, schools differ from their technological rules. And some of them, like I think Brinkley, where Mike is, they are now having you know, they can't bring it, they can't play with it, they cannot bring it. And if they do bring it, they better, I guess they need to hide it. I don't know, somewhere away from them. But they have a basket too. I know used to, they would have a basket that they put the phones in. The moment they come in, they get their phone on that basket, and then in that basket, and make sure it is in silent or whatever, and then or off. And then when they leave, they know to go in that basket and get their phones. Okay, so but you'll find that different schools will have different rules. But if you are very consistent on your rules, routines, and procedures, you tell them how to pass the papers, you tell them how, you know, this is how I want to pass, you know, from the back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming to me, you know, things like that, very structured. Okay, this is what, you know, you can post level numbers on noises. Level 0 is quiet. Level 1 is whisper. So when they're doing group work, level 2 is regular talk, and level 3 is like presentation. So all you have to do is put the 0 symbol with your hand signal 0. That means quiet. Okay, and then so that what I do with my students is I always raise my hand, and I train them this, that when I raise my hand, I won't say anything. I want you to look. If you see my hand raised, you need to raise your hand back, and then you need to make sure people around you get their hands raised too, because I won't even talk until everybody's hands 100% is up. Then I'll talk. And then so which means that you really are, you have to turn the students' voice before you before you turn on yours. Turn off theirs first, turn off their noise before you turn on yours, because you cannot be speaking on top of them, you know, because speaking on top of them, there's no respect there. So that's one thing that you need to make sure that you establish. This is how I'm not gonna scream at you. I'm just gonna raise my hand. and then you race back until I, get ready. I have things like when they're doing group work and I want them to stop because I noticed that everybody's confused about something. So I train them this too. I said, everybody freeze. So they have to freeze whatever it is that they're doing. And then I will give them the directions. It looks like everybody's confused about this part. I want to explain this, whatever, and then when you finish explaining, then you say, okay, throw out. Then everybody throws out and then everybody will go back to whatever they were doing. But feel free to stop them, whatever it is that they're doing in the middle of something, and then give them a redirection. That works for me every time, whatever grade I have taught. I've even done it. I do teacher workshops. I even done it with teachers. And they follow it. They always use it when they get back. They like it. They go back and use it in their classroom. But there's so many ways to do that. But the thing is, the key is that you're gonna have to be consistent. You cannot let people get away with it. Some teachers here, they struggle with discipline. They'll have like a board or like either a chart or a board, can put a chart there in the wall, and they can put a mark. And then like 3 marks you're out, 3 marks you're, you have to follow the direction of the handbook of the school, of course. Some schools would say first time they misbehave, that's a verbal warning. So in my room, I would put their name down. That's a warning for you. Your name is there. That's a warning. And so the next time they do something again, same period, they put a check mark. Okay, that means that this is already going to be study hall for you. You're going to go to study, or your lunch recess is mine. You're going to go to, instead of going to with your friends, you're going to be going to the study hall, where there's usually a study hall teacher that watches the lunch recess thing. And then the second one will be, I'll be talking to your parent. And with high school and all that, most schools already have phones in their classroom. Some of them will just like give them independent work, and you can be calling, or you can text or email the parents. And then of course you have after that third check mark is going to the office, should be your last resort. Okay, you should have tried everything else in between before you start sending them to the office, because you don't want the principal to think that you're so weak on discipline that you're always sending them to the office. I remembered when I was assistant principal and I was in charge of discipline as well as academic, and they would send the 90% of your discipline problems come from 10% of your teachers who are weak on classroom management. You don't want to be part of that 10% that's weak, that you continue to bring kids in the classroom, because if they're out of the classroom, they're not learning, right? So you want them to learn. So you want them in the classroom. And if they're really, really, really bad, that's when you start, talking to the administrator. I have really tried this. I've talked to the parents. It didn't work. I've done this. So can you please help me figure out what else can I do? Because I want this child to learn. Okay. So you just need to make sure you reach out at home. A lot of time you'll find out by knowing them, especially if you do work, like I do communication notebook where they write every day, beginning of the day or end of the day, last 15 minutes. So they have this notebook called a communication notebook, daily notebook where they write. You get to know about them. So you get to know about, like the parents or the grandparents, who they live with, aunts, whoever they live with. And that's when you know who to call. A lot of times, like some students are afraid of their grandmas. So make sure I get the grandma's text number, cell phone number. And I'm like, okay, they're just a text away. You want me to text grandma right now? Is that what you want? Oh, no, don't do that. I'm like, well, then I expect this to be done. Okay. So I know you can do this, so you try to be positive, never to threaten them, like an animal, that you don't want to corner kids. You don't want to corner, because they will pounce, right? You don't ever want to have that relationship. I have the friendly relationship, more of a respect, mutual respect. You respect the students and you earn the respect, right? But they will know that. They'll know that you know what you're doing. Okay, but if you watch some of those videos, I showed some things that you can do in the classroom to be interactive, to have, strategies that you try where they are not just listening to you. That's a problem with a bunch of teachers that I observe, is that drill and kill. You just give them a paperwork or a worksheet and then you expect them to do it. No, that's called drill and kill or sit and get. You don't want that. You want them to, you really want to teach them, and then after that 10 to strategies, my favorite strategies, 10-minute teacher talk. And then after you have 10 minutes, then you expect the students to react, to do something with that information. So TPS, think, pair, share. I want you to talk to your partner or whisper using level 1, whisper, and tell them about what you think of what I just said for 10 minutes. So they're processing the information. That's called anchoring in. So you're anchoring the information in the brain so they'll remember it, because our brain can only remember chunks of information, right? So for 10 minutes, you give them that information, you have to turn around and give them a way to process it. Sometimes it could be as simple as like thumbs up if you understand. I would say thumbs up if it's clear as mud, or clear as, clear, thumbs up if it's clear as water. Thumbs down if it's clear as mud. Or, not clear as mud. But anyway, so, and then if you are still confused, thumbs sideways. So it's a formative assessment. You want to check and see where they are. Are they with you? Which means that, I used to, because I can't, I will forget about time. So I used to have a timekeeper that I say, okay, set for 10 minutes. So whenever the 10 minutes stop, I will pause. Okay, we already talked about this. Let me see what, you think. And so you give it back to the students and then you continue. Okay, so if you teach kindergarten, first grade students, you might want to do 5-1, 5 minute you talk, and in 1 minute you need to have them, process the information or whatever. Okay, so I hope that you will, you continue, you go to www.schoolspring.com. That has direct hiring. So you can go to those and apply directly to schools if you want. Or you can send your resume and cover letter to me. My last name, first name at Gmail, McCulloughMerlina@gmail.com. You can see it on the bottom of my Zoom picture. And then I will be sending you, I've already sent, but I'll continue to send new people to those administrators that I know in Arkansas and other states surrounding Arkansas. I have sent them to those. And so a lot of times, if they know me, they will call me and say, Merlina, I need a literacy teacher. So can you please send me, five, and I want to choose 1 or 2 of that. So they would actually want me to recommend them specific names. Right now on my list, I have 387 folks, but but when they ask for just special ed, I will only send them all special ed list. And there's a link to that list to your folder, and your folder would have your application letter, cover letter, and your resume. So in your resume, make sure that you have a picture on top. I know normally you don't, but for international teachers, it seems to help that you have a little small picture on the top right or top left. And then make sure that you, of course, include the information that I said to include, your experiences and so on. And if you have extracurricular or things, you include there, and some professional development or PDs that really impacted you. Do not list me like a million of them. You need to do 2 or 3 that really made a difference in your teaching career. So those are the things that, thank goodness to this training, now I really know a lot about this, whatever. So include those, and in the very bottom, you put at least 3 references, okay? So make sure it's either 2 supervisors or a supervisor, a colleague, and maybe a friend for character reference. Make sure they have their email and their phone numbers, because what schools here in America will do is they will send those 3 people by email a survey link, a Google form asking about you. Okay, so which means that if you're including these folks in your reference letter, as a part of your references in the bottom of your resume, make sure you tell them to answer emails. Answer emails immediately, because sometimes that could be just a matter of a day or 2, and then they will whoever gets all their information, their Google Forms, responses back, those are the ones that will get the interview. Okay, so that's like a step 1 for you to be able to be invited for the interview, because they will kind of check you first, check you out first, and see what other people say about you before they even talk to you. Okay, so some of them that had attended a few of my meetings, like Giselle, of course, attend just about every day, every other week, when we meet every other Saturday. Anyway, so some of them could actually put me down as one of the references, because I'm the Arkansas, I call him Arkansas mentor, Arkansas coach, to teachers. And so it's good when I know you, when I have your paperwork, because when somebody asks me, I'll just go look at the ones that you put in, and also remember what you put here. I always make a note. I have a notebook here on my Zoom meeting, so I'll go back and see where I met you, what date, and I'll go back to that, because I numbered my videos. on Facebook, on YouTube, I number those videos. So I know like this is, I think number 81 or 82 now. Anyway, so I post these whenever we get done. I post this on Facebook, I mean, and YouTube. And if you're part of my team, part of the ones that sent me your resume and cover letter, you will be part of my distribution list. So anything I send something to the group, you will get this. Okay, so be sure that you give it to me, and then I will make sure that I could, if there's something I can do to help. There's always a need for high school teachers, seems like, for literacy, the fluency is huge. And make sure that when you talk to them, or when you include it in your resume, what are the grades that you have taught. So if you've taught 7th to 12th grade, for example, include that, and then include what kind of, like, did you teach literature? What kind of research did you, what kind of subjects, or sub subjects that you have taught, because that's important, I think, for them to know what your experiences have been. Okay, you have any question for me? Like, have you tried schoolspring.com before? No.
I haven't really browsed the website. However, I tried joining groups on Facebook with Filipino teachers applying, or they're applying for a teaching position. So I tried just browsing the how do you call this, I think the dashboard, but I haven't really tried sending
Okay.
things to
You might
this.
you might want to I'm gonna type it here, www.schoolspring.com, because there's a link here now. And then also you need to Google visa sponsors. I would say designated, you put it in quotation, designated visa, US visa sponsors, US visa sponsors in quotations, and then Google will show you, Google then will show you the link, and it had the word bridge in it. Okay, so then when you click on it, there'll be a list of, and you have to pick teachers, because there's a lot of jobs. So you have to change that window on the top left to teachers, and then it will show you all the link to all those visa sponsors. These are the visa sponsors that are going to be vetted, that have been vetted by the US Department in order to sponsor you. So if an agency contacts you and they're not on that list, that means they're a third-party agency. That means that you'll be paying for them, and then paying the the actual visa sponsor. So it is a good idea to just go straight to the visa sponsors. My partner, I'm affiliated with Cultural Vistas. Culturalvistas.org is the website, and I'll type it here, culturalvistas.org. And so they are actually sponsors, and they have, I don't know, a lot of slots every year. And the person that I usually talk to is Caroline Gillum. So C Gillum at culturalvistas.org. And so contact her. And if you have, if found a school, for example, and the school will always ask you, like, do you already have a visa sponsor? And so if you do, then you need to make, if you haven't, then you need to make sure that you either look at the list, or you can contact culturalvistas.org, and then see if you could be, to be able to connect with them. Okay, so some of them would want to have a relationship with that school. So, before they would even sponsor, but that would be something that they can do. Okay. You're wanting to know the difference between J1 and H1B. Well, J1 visa is like the teacher exchange visa. It is for cultural exchange. There is a 2-year physical requirement, which means that you have the limit is 5 years for that. So if you teach 5 years in America, then the next 2 years you have to go back to the Philippines and teach the Filipino students about what you learned. That's why it's called a teacher exchange. And after the 2 years, then you can come back and do 5 more years, and so on. You can do as many times as you want. Okay, but just know that there is that 2-year physical presence requirement, that you have to go back and teach what you learned. And then the other kind of visa is an H-1B visa, and that H-1B is a dual intent visa, which means you can actually become a citizen here, a green card holder, and then a citizen. So it's a 6-year visa. And if the difference that it's very hard to find H-1B sponsors, because the H-1B sponsors are the school or the district. They are the ones that will pay for everything. It will be zero expense for you. Okay, so they will pay for everything. So not very many schools have that kind of money that they will just pay, you know. And so a lot of times on the J1 visa, it might cost you you know, some money, because in J1 visa you could do half. You could do half the teacher and half the sponsor. Or some sponsor, if you're lucky enough to find a sponsor, you might just cost you like plane ticket, or you know, something. Be ready between $3,000 to $4,000. I think it will be, might be costing you that much. But the pay here is about 8 to 10 times the Philippines. So if you're getting $5,000 or 300,000 there in the Philippines, you know, about what was that, 30,000 a month. If you're getting that much here, we're getting here 3 million pesos. About close to 3 million pesos is your pay for 9 months. So you start in August and you end in May. And that is your pay, about 3 million. So it's a really big difference in the pay. So some people would actually borrow money if they don't have it in savings. They would borrow money, but within 3 to 6 months, you get it paid already. Some of them sooner. But with J1 visa, your family, if you have family, do you have any kids or husband?
I don't have any.
Okay, you don't. Okay. But if for those that have a family, they can actually come with them. That's J2 visa holders. And so when you are approved, your family will be approved. So that you can, you know, you can ask your sponsors that you have families to bring. Because as a single person, you cannot bring your boyfriend, but if you marry him, you can bring him. Yeah, that's how it works. So any question on the difference between the two visas? With the H-1B, you see, after you know, you could actually be sponsored for the green card, you know, within, I don't know, 3 years you're here, and then you get your green card, and after 5 years as a green card holder, you can take your test to become a citizen. You have to be here in America 5 years before you will be allowed to take this US citizenship test. And then when you pass that test, you can be here forever. Okay. And if you don't want to be a citizen of the US because you want to retain your Filipino citizenship, then every 10 years is when the green card will expire, and you just have to renew it. Just renew it, you know, a year ahead or whatever. And then some people would choose to become US citizens so they can, you know, they can have the US passport, which really you can travel anywhere in the world with it. You know, there's 200 plus countries where you can travel without any visas because you have a US passport. So it's very powerful. And also you want to be loyal to the US. You know, I have been a citizen since 91. I arrived in 87. And like I was close to 92, I think, whenever I became a citizen here. And so you know, you can do your dual citizenship. Here in America, the closest one is in this side of close to Arkansas is Houston. Like, so you have to go to Houston, Texas for us here in the southeastern part of the US to go to Houston. And then there's a Philippine embassy there. I think there's also a Philippine embassy in Louisiana, New Orleans, I think. But anyway, so some people decide to do dual citizenship, which means that you can go to the Philippines anytime. You don't have so many number of days, you don't have a limit. But the thing is, you know, you can also own properties in the Philippines, although you are a US citizen, if you're dual. If you're not dual, you have to have it owned with somebody else, you know, your family. But you know, there are advantages and disadvantages on that, but I think several folks are actually doing dual, especially if they own properties in the Philippines. Yeah. So what is your question?
So far, Doc, I'm enlightened about the difference. I will just go to your YouTube, so I will get to know more about how classroom management and the sponsorship.
Yeah.
So
there's a couple of Josephine videos there. You look at the Josephine videos where I actually interviewed Josephine, and she did such an awesome job answering me. And I added some things to it. Like, Josephine, you might want to include this. You might want to, you know, so I've actually done that, where people, when they're so nervous about their first interview, they would email me, and don't call me, email me. And And then if you want to practice with me, and I will do a mock practice, like I will ask you a question and then you answer, and then I will give you, yeah, you might want to include this part, you might want to not include this part, and because I will use the 5 core propositions of National Board. And I've taught, and if you see on my videos, you'll see a lot of these, the knowledge of students, how you form a relationship with your students, and the knowledge of content, your strategies and your content area. So knowledge of student, knowledge of content, and then assessment, how you use data in order to make your curriculum decisions. And then the last 2, match, reflection, and collaboration. So whenever you talk about your answers, you always talk about, about your knowledge of students. You answered because I know my students. Through my communication notebook, my daily communication notebook, I know my students. And so I'm able to do this. I'm able to know their parents. I'm able to whatever, and then the strategies you're going to use, of course, you're going to include differentiation and so on. And the active strategies that you use, like I just mentioned, 10-2 strategies, your gallery walk, your TPS or think, pair, share, or TWPS, think, write, pair, and share, things like that that you do that's interactive. And then, of course, the data, the assessment would be that the assessment could be informal assessment, things that you do to observe how they're doing, or your formative assessment, the thumbs up, thumbs down, those things, okay? And some of them could be your exit slip, your anticipation chart, for example. Anticipation chart is a chart that some questions that you would give them before you introduce the topic, just like KWL, So those are some data information that you could use in order to know, am I going on, or am I reteaching? Am I, what is going on? Did 80% of my students get it, at least, 80 students mastery? And then, of course, you're going to reflect. You're going to go back and think, okay, did my lesson work? Did I reach everyone? Did I see somebody's eyes look like a confused headlight? If you have this confused head, you need to make sure that you may want to pull that student in when everybody's doing something, and pull them in and reteach them. So you can determine that, okay? So you're reflecting. The collaboration piece would be when you ask questions like, for example, an angry parent, so angry parent coming in, and, who do you collaborate? Like if you have a very, very mad parent, and this, and your other teacher, your colleagues that have taught this student will tell you that, be careful about talking with a parent by yourself. So you make sure you collaborate with the principal, make sure you talk to the principal and say, do you mind being with me? I have an appointment with this teacher, and do you mind being and attending it with me? And principals will do that for you, okay? But just make sure that you tell the parents that you need to follow protocol. Talk to the teacher first. And if you don't resolve that, of course, they can go to the principal. So that's the next protocol. And if they don't happy with the result, then they can go to the above the principal, district office. But try to do protocol. They should not go straight to the district office. They need to be talking to the teacher first. And you take care of that first, And so that's why when you form that relationship with your parents early, like getting them to know them the first month of school, then you already have that little relationship with them. They've heard about you. They know who you are. And in that way, you're able to brag about the kids. You're doing an emotional deposit before later on, you're going to do emotional withdrawal whenever you're telling them about their child is doing something. And so when you talk to them or you email them, make sure you do a sandwich method. So you tell them about positive, and then you tell them insert what needs to be improved, and then finish with positive. So do a glow and grow sandwich, glow, grow, glow sandwich, because parents always, parents want to know, what are the strengths of my child? Are you just calling me to gripe about my kid or complain about my kid? You also want to tell them, what? I love that your child is so attentive, always participate, always raising hand, very friendly. Kids, her classmates love him or her, and really get along with others and so on. I wonder if you could help me with one little thing though. For example, I noticed that, he really or she really likes to talk when I'm talking, and we have that problem before. And so I wonder if you could help me talk to your child about, trying to, to try to respect others by listening more. And but and then later on you brag, you do another one, because I know your child can do it because he's a good kid. And then the other day, I noticed that he was helping somebody dropped a book and came, picked it up and gave it to this person, and very good heart, things like that. So anyway, but be honest. Do not just make up something. Okay, parents will know that. So they know when you're being honest and you really mean about to be kind and to care about their kid. The kid will also know that. You can't fake it, right? So they know which teacher likes them and which teacher that can, which teachers do not like them or don't, that hate their guts. And do not be one of those teachers that kids hate, right? So the key to that is kindness. Be good to them without being too weak, where they would, have a good balance, I guess. They know, my favorite saying is that, I care to learn if I learn that you care. So that students will want to do anything for you if they like you. And liking, having them to like you means that they know you care about them and you are serious about this. And I know my stuff. I know how to teach literacy, for example, for you and me. And so I know this, but be with me on it. Don't bore them to death. Do you know, Janelle, do you know that literacy has actually replaced math as the most hated subject? You know why that is? Because I've done a research. What is it is that some of us literacy teachers are boring. If they just want to talk and talk and talk and they never did have them, like, it's a good idea to always have them like either pair, talk to your partner, whatever, and then have them do a little small group, 3 to 4 students, never more than 4, because then the 5th one is a slug. So have them to do something and present something. Okay, so you produce a product and they present it, give them this, like most schools in America would have this rolled paper, like this really long paper, different colors, and you can just cut those and then they could do a presentation and they will present it. And in my classroom, because I've taught high school, elementary, in my classroom, they always give a comment. Like when they present, the audience will give a comment. So the audience would say, you know what, they'll do a grow too. Well, I love the way that your voice is so good. The voice is very, you could hear it from the back. I wonder if you could have made your font bigger because it's not very visible. It's too little. And then praise them again. You seem to work as a team very well. It's obvious because you have all 4 of them stand up there, 3 of them. Even though one person may talk, but the others have to stand there and be a support, to the presenter. Okay, sometimes they would divide the group where they would say, they would divide it into 4 things. You cover this, everybody talks. But sometimes you have a student that's really shy. And you don't, they may have really contributed on the project on research part because they're so shy. They'd rather do that written part. And some of them might be good artists. So they may have added some artistry there, some artistic thing in your work in presentation, or they may have made some modeling clay or Play-Doh, and they may have made a little sculpture that's based on whatever they're presenting. Okay, so they use their multiple intelligences. So your verbal intelligent kids that love to talk, they're the ones that's gonna present, like, oh, I want to present it, And so some of them, you might end up with 4 really shy students. So I have them to do a rock, paper, scissors on who will end up presenting. Okay, and you can do also like 4 pieces of popsicle sticks, for example, and then one of them will be short, but when all of them in the top will be looking the same, but then they get one and then one of them will be short. Whoever gets the short one will get to present. You have different ways to do that, but the point is they learn more from each other. Research has actually shown that students learn more from other students, more than they learn from us. I don't care if you have a doctorate degree or whatever, they would learn more from each other. I think they speak the same language, kind of type thing. And so the more peer tutoring or peer help, the better. That's why I really believe in having them work as a partner or in a small group. Do you do that in your classroom? Do you do any peer work or partner work or group work? Do you do any of that?
Yes, especially like what you said, you've said about literature, that the kids are, majority of the kids don't really relate to the topic. So what I do is contextualize and find examples in the community and try to give them group work, like where they're going to do a role play about an epic we discuss, and you do your own version. How would you like the ending to be to a certain? So that, and they really enjoy doc because however, I let them use since my subject is focusing on the first semester, I mean first quarter is focusing on Philippine literature. I allow them to use the language or vernacular or Filipino language, but second quarter will be focusing on world lit. Then we'll explore the literature from all over the world, and that's the time that I will let them practice. I mean, use language because that is where they really struggle with the Philippines, and that actually hinders them from reciting or participating because of language barrier. So yes, they're very hesitant whenever I ask them to answer a question. And with literature, I believe that it's more of the appreciation of the culture, the creativeness of it. So that is why that's one of my strategies, Doc. I allow them to express their ideas.
Very good.
Try, or if other students are we also have students here in our school who speak English as their first language. So there's really diversity in the classroom, Doc, because in your high school there are different strands, there are many students, so there's really diversity. And I believe that when I go, if ever I will be given the opportunity to work in the States, that I can bring the things that I've learned here in the Philippines and teach literature to my students of more diverse background.
Very good. Very good. Because America is like a salad bowl. Okay. There's a lot of different people, but we always try to learn from each other. We always believe that diversity is a strength. You know, we're more similar than we are different. So we find our similarities, and we appreciate that. We really appreciate each other, but then we also respect our differences. That this is how different you are, and it's okay. It's okay to be different. You know, I always tell my students that don't call somebody weird, say they're different. It's okay to be different, you know, but don't say they're weird, because then you're judging them. Okay, because that might be weird to our culture, but it's not weird to them. You know, that might be acceptable to them and in their culture. So don't be judging it. Don't be judgy. You know, so if we respect somebody, and that's where the word respect is always a good one to include in your rules in the classroom. That something that fall under respect. You know, if somebody would insult somebody, or somebody would say shut up, does that mean you're respectful or not? You know, what's a more respectful way to say that? And it's very common for high school here, even elementary, to just say shut up. And I'm like, did I just hear something rude there? How do you say that where it's nicer? You know, how do you say that where it shows that you respect each other? You know, because when you model that as a teacher, that you respect them, they're gonna emulate that. They're gonna follow that. This is what the teacher does. The teacher really respects us. So now we have to respect her, because she had earned that. You didn't demand it, you earned it. And then at the same time, they will respect each other. In fact, as an administrator and as a consultant that observes classroom, you know, that's what I do now. As I've been retired in 2016. So I now visit schools. I'm a consultant, and I actually go and I charge the school a daily rate, and I go and observe them, like the Filipino teachers here. I have a contract with Brinkley, for example, a weekly visit. And so I go there, I observe them. And if I need to teach something, I would ask, hey, is that okay if I can share with them how I, you know, to add to this? You know, I always ask the teacher, because, you know, I have to be respectful. That's the teacher's classroom. I'm not taking over, right? And so anyway, so I think having that knowledge of content, like you do, you have your knowledge of content very well. And, by knowing those strategies, and for example, you're doing literature and you're having them the role play, that's awesome. And if you introduce them the vocabulary, you need to identify 4 or 5 words that are really hard for them. And I do a four square method where you divide a page into 4, and the first word would be the word itself, and then definition in their own way, their own words. And then the next square would be maybe use it in a sentence, and the third square may be I don't remember, like synonym or antonym or both there. And then the last one would be a drawing that includes that, that would show that word, to show their sentence or whatever. So the 4 includes different intelligences there. And I have them to share those, in fact. So I would do, like, for example, if I have 4 groups, and if I have 4 words, I will have them to draw which word they will end up with. And then I had them group to role play. There's always a storyteller to set up whatever it is. And then to tell what the situation is. Are they in the school, or are they mother, are they at home, mother and father, kid, what are they? And so they will set up, and they will show the word, really. So then I ask them, what do you think they're showing you? What word are they? So they said, oh, they are assigned this, whatever, because although they're not saying the word, but they're really showing it. Okay, but it takes a lot of thinking, when you have to come up with that, because the group had to guess who's got the word. Okay, and you remember they already had done something with the word. They already have the 4 squared activity. So now they just have to say, okay, this is how it looks like. Okay, and then after that, of course, you always have an audience, comment. How did this group do? Whatever. Oh, I love the way that you are so talented. So and so is so good actor, good actress. I love that. Of course, you always tell them about safety. So you're going to have to not be running around, not be using some sharp things, the common sense, rule that you don't want them falling, getting up on top of something, falling. You have to come up with safety things. And I love the way that their voices are so big and so expressive. And you can really tell that, this person is feeling the pain or feeling, all this emotional stuff. So I think you sound like you teach like me, that you don't want them to just sit and get, right? You want them to be active. And by the time they get done with the story, they're going to know about, what it's about because of the role play. It could be a scene in the story. Some of the Mark Twain or Shakespeare stuff, I would have them the powerful parts where there's an action. I always, okay, let's act this out. Okay, group 1, I want you to very, very, very like just spontaneous, because these kids are so used to it by then, because we've done it the first month or the first 2 months. And so I was like, okay, group 1, how does this look like? Okay, so I want you to talk about who's going to play what. And I want you to show in the class and say it in your own dialogue. Say it. How do you think that this one would feel like? And so they would actually show it in their understanding. Okay. And so when you have that, then it's powerful for the other kids. Oh, it's more visible to them. Like, for example, even in social studies, when I did social studies and they're talking about slavery and slavery auctions, where they would auction people straight from the ship, and they are in chains, and they would auction them. They would say, this one is so strong. Look at this, whatever. And so they have an auctioneer, and then they have the other people to be the people doing the, trying to buy and all that. So then it's so powerful to the kids. Oh my gosh, they're buying people, so if you just talk about that, it's not as powerful as showing them this is what an auction could be like, and here are people being in chain, and they were being sold. How do you think that is? And it makes them feel like, oh my gosh, they have been through that. This is how these folks have gone through. These are the experiences that they have done. And it just makes it, to me, it's more learning for them, because it really impacts them, just be careful that, for example, in my class one time, I had I taught in a community where 99% were white, right? And 1% minority. And so there was one Black student in my classroom. So when we did the auction, I want to make sure he's not being auctioned. He's the one that's doing the, she's auctioneer. He's telling them he is not the one being auctioned, because you could have a problem with that. I don't want the parents to say, hey, why are you trying, why do you have him to play that role when he's the only one in your classroom? You know what I mean? So you could actually have them also to draw, they can draw like who wants to be the slave or whatever. So in their group, they could actually draw the roles. And in that way, it's not like somebody just chose somebody to be auctioned, you don't, because it's a sensitive topic sometimes. But anyways, but it's common sense, things that are common sense to us. But in literature and other things, you really want the kids to feel. And that's, to me, that's so important, because at the end, I always want them to know, so what did you learn from that? How does it translate in your life? For example, in Lincoln, in Abraham Lincoln's story, he's really always been conceived as our 16th president. He's always been conceived as a very, very kind and patient man and very good president. Well, he failed 9 times. He tried to run 9 times and failed. And that shows his persistence, because he continued to do it, continued to run, right? And so in your life, what are the things that you could be like Lincoln? Oh, I tried to learn this particular, hobby, and, it took me forever, but I continued to learn it and all that. And so then I finally passed it, whatever. Some of them could be driving, some high school kids would take 3 or 4 times before they could pass their driving test, So anyway, but it always needs to connect to their lives. Your stories, anything that you do in your classroom doesn't mean anything if you do not have them to translate to their life, right? Do you understand? Do you notice that if once it gets to their lives and they could relate to it? I used to do, I'm a president buff. I love knowing about the president's lives, biographies of the US president. So in my classroom, I always assign them numbers, according to the ABC ranking there. So so whoever's number 1 in my classroom would be assigned to president number 1, George Washington. Okay, so George Washington, Adams, and then I was like all that. So they would research about that. But their purpose is, when they research about their lives, they have to think about, when you talk about them, how does this look like, and how do you relate to this? So if you're telling me that George Washington was very known for his honesty, he was very honest, all this. So how does that relate to you? So you may, they may put an example where I got in trouble. I know I was going to get in trouble to my mom or to my dad or grandma, but I told them the truth about it. That's like George Washington did on this story or whatever. And so one of the presidents was like, he was swimming in the Potomac River, which is close to the White House. And he was swimming. This was, I think, the 6th president. I want to say the 6th, but one of the Adams is, because one was the dad. I mean, one was the dad, the first one, and then the second one, and the 6th one was the son. So, but anyway, one of them, I want to say the 2nd, or maybe the 6th. Anyway, one of them was swimming in the Potomac River, and somebody stole his clothes. So somebody stole his clothes, and he had to get somebody to go to the White House and get me some clothes. And so those are embarrassing moments, right? Those are scary moments. So they could say, okay, so this was a scary moment for a president or for you. So tell me about your scary moment. What were the things that were scary for you, or things that was really a challenge for you, because that's embarrassing for you, so they would relate that, oh, this happened to this president, now this happened in my life, right? Okay. All right. Well, I didn't mean to be teaching, but I'm always a teacher, I guess. So if you have any question for me, are these things that might be helpful to you?
Yes, Doc. It's really a big help for me because, of course, though I mentioned earlier that I teach diverse students in the Philippines, teaching Americans or students of different culture, apart from being Filipino, I don't encounter foreigners in my class. So I had a few students or Americans in the Philippines. We already have this intercultural setup. I mean, environment. I teach half Filipino, half Australian students, and I think it's still there's still a big difference. Of course, because the Philippines is a very different place from the United States. So all of these experiences and your teaching strategies that you share with us today can really help us, not only in teaching literature, but also with dealing with students in science classes, art classes, and
Mhm.
all of the subjects, since we are to deal with these students
Yeah,
regardless of the
right.
subject.
Yep. Good point. Good
And
comment. You,
so we really appreciate it. I think
oh
everyone
yeah,
has.
well, appreciate your comment and input too. You know, the gallery walk. Have you done gallery walk? Well, you have the four corners and gallery walk combination. So you have them to pick a corner. You have four groups, and then you pick a corner, and then they have to display their sticky note or their poster, whatever there. And then you have you have the group. You bring a bell, and then each group would look at each other's, and they got a sticky note or index card and tape it in, a comment of what their work was. So they're doing a gallery walk, and you ring the bell again, they go to the next group, and so on. So it's a good written comment if you want. And then later on, if you have time, you could even make it verbal. Okay, somebody representing this group, why did you say this or whatever, and they would talk about it. But that's gallery walk combined with four corners. That's two strategies in one. Yeah. So anyway, but there's a lot of strategies out there that you could use. And I think if you watch our videos, we have talked about so many different ones, and you could see some of them sound like I'm just repeating myself because I use things that are from my own classroom experiences. I only had 15 years of experience as a classroom, but about that much in administration. So I did half of my career as a teacher, half of my career as an administrator. So I have been a district and building level administrator. So I've experienced both in, running a school and running districts. So those things I think help me. And also when I'm teaching at Arkansas State University as an adjunct professor, my students are mostly teachers, principals, and some of them superintendent. They're trying to get their, specialist degree. And so, yeah, so my students are actually, teachers. And when I do discussion board where they have to ask that you answer questions, I always make sure that they are related to the classroom. So they have to put examples from their own classroom. That way they learn from each other. And then I always ask them to at least answer, answer three of your classmates or comment about three of your classmates, this week. Make sure you have at least three. And so anyway, so that way they have to comment on each other, which means they have to read it in order for them to be able to comment, right? And their comment has to be just not one-liner. Their comment has to be substantial, right? And so in order for them to get the full point. So that makes an online discussion more meaningful when you actually ask them to read each other's and comment. Because in the classroom itself, when you're not online, you can even see when everybody that is 100%, participation there, because people will just be quiet the whole time, every day. But in online teaching, right, they have to participate because that's where the grades are. Have you taken any online classes before?
Yes, Doc. In fact, during the pandemic, that was from year 2020 until I think 2022, we conducted our classes online, and even today we are actually following a blended learning program. Our curriculum in the AMA education system actually had this program ever since we started with offering senior high school. So our students only come to school for 3 days. 2 days they do their online task.
Right.
So we do the face-to-face discussion for 3 days, and the remaining 2 days they will in their task.
Very good.
Yes.
Very
we,
good.
we were really challenged during that time because it was something new for the Filipinos, especially with the internet.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we really struggled with engaging the students with especially my subject was literature. I really had a hard time planning out activities that will really engage my students, especially that the classroom. So I researched interactive games online.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah, Bluekit is good, bluekit.com and jeopardylabs.com for Jeopardy games. Bingo, you can make bingos everywhere. So you Google that, making your own bingo cards based on your information. Quizlet.com or quizzes.com. Those are some things that you could use, very easily. Yeah. Well, anyway, it's nice talking to you, Janelle. I always enjoy talking to teachers because I feel like I've learned from you too. I think everybody that we meet in life, we always learn from, including our students. My students, I feel like I've learned from them every single day. And now that I'm retired, I feel more geeky because I'm so happy when I'm learning something because I have this notebook and I write my daily learning in. And I'm like, yeah, that's something I can write in my notebook. And so now I've transitioned to digital. So I could type it there and it's always on my drive. So those are things, and someday I guess I will put it together in a book, things that I've learned. But yeah, thank you so much. You have taught me a lot, and I hope I taught you a little bit. And so I'm gonna turn this over. Giselle should be here. Mike or Giselle? Mike or Giselle, who wants to be a host? Because I have to go get my coffee. I have been talking here for more than an hour or 2 hours. I want to need my coffee or tea. So I want them to lead. They are the ones that have attended so many. Mike, do you want to do it or do you want Giselle to do it?
Yes po, because
You want to do it?
I'm not the one who's driving now.
You're driving. Okay, Giselle, do you mind to do it? I
No,
want you.
I'm not driving po. I'm not driving.
Okay, you're not driving. So do you want to lead it then?
Yes po,
Mike?
Sir Joel is the one who's driving.
Oh, look at you, Joel. Look at Joel driving in America. Awesome.
Yes po.
Okay. So Mike, talk to them, Mike, about things that whatever you want to tell them about information about being in the US or things to remember. You attended nearly every Zoom. I have to go get my
Yes po.
copy. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay po. Oh, thank you po. Okay. So that's po. So Doc Merlina is discussing or sharing those tips, and think more than 10 or 20 they're already here in the USA, and then they already sharing that whatever Doc Merlina is saying, it's very helpful. So there are already successful applicants here in the USA, and
Mike.
also yes, and Sir Erwin can also prove that.
Hoy,
Right, Sir Erwin?
hoy. Mag-add lang ako aside from Bluekit.
Okay. Okay, make sure be watchful, be careful with your
Hindi. Hindi, sabi
no
nito
more
kanina.
no more revelations, ha? It's recorded.
Okay na yun. Hindi, aside from Bluekit, quizzes, pwede rin silang gumamit ng gym kit, GIM, KIT. Para rin siyang Kahoot, ganon. Pero kapag mga math majors dyan, pwedeng makapag-encode ng equation kasi mahirap maghanap ng website na nakakapag-encode ng equation. Super hirap. So, yun.
For math,
It's
yes.
just a
For
suggestion.
teachers, right?
Kailangan ko yan.
For math teachers. Okay.
Yes, Ma'am Mirna. Narinig ko yung boss sa Ma'am Mirna. Namimiss ko si Ma'am Mirna.
Mananawa ka sa boses ko.
Soon, very soon.
Yes.
Yes, so Ma'am Giselle mentioned that she's taking a master's degree and special education. So think that will be one of your edge here, or in applying here in the USA, because like Doc Merlina said, special education teachers are in demand here. There are shortage of special education teachers here in the USA, and actually I was hired here as computer science teacher, but after 2 months they transferred me in elementary to teach special education. Though I'm not done with my master's yet. I just finished it last July, and was here last February 2023. And they're not very strict in terms of if you finish your master's degree, as long as you have already units, they will hire you, because like what I've said, there's already a shortage here, special education teachers here in the USA. So good move that Ma'am Giselle is taking now a master's in special education.
Yep. And you can now put that in your, yeah, you can, I'm back. You can now put that in your, good point, Mike. Put that in your resume that you are taking classes, you know. Because some people would, as long as, and I think in J1 visa, some visa sponsors would allow you because of the shortage, but a lot of them actually do 90, maybe 80 to 90% would want your master's already done. So now when teachers talk to me, I would say at least 2 years, 2 to 3 years of experience in your degree. So if you're a high school teacher, you better have a high school experience. You know, if you're high school math, you need to have high school math experience. And so if you have that my experience and then have your master's degree, even if your master's degree is in administration or in other field, if you have your master's degree, that's going to help you get approved better. Don't you think, Mike? Do you agree with me, Mike? Erwin?
Yes po, Doc.
Yeah.
Because actually, I have already my master's degree in educational management
Yes,
in the
Doc.
Philippines also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yes, Doc.
I have 2 master's degree already.
Yeah.
I think Sir
100%
Erwin too.
agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, Doc, you know what? Um, ayoko na talaga magkwento eh. Baka mapasama tayo. Anyway, anyway, I think master's degree and doctoral degree is an edge, or I mean it's a better edge.
Yeah.
It's more than bachelor's degree. If you have a bachelor's degree, yeah, they will hire you, but having master's degree and master's degree is more than that. And they have, I mean, more than more than that of points of the bachelor's degree to hire you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, aside from the salary, of course, you know, I know Filipinos are looking for the best salary. However, it's in America, it's not just about salary, it's about what you really have to share, not
Yeah.
just to your colleague, but also to share
Yeah.
to your
What you bring in
student.
the
Because
table.
if
Yeah.
you have, right, Doc, if we have a doctoral degree, we have the ability to fully share the knowledge that we want to impart to things that I think that that's the best part of having these degrees.
Yeah. As long as you're humble about it, you don't want to be like, hey, nah, I have it. You know, you don't want to do that. You want to be humble that, you know, when I got my doctorate degree, it was 2011, but that really made me more humble because it made me remember or realize that I'm not as smart as I thought I was, you know, that there's so much things out there that I want to learn. So it just makes you more humble. So those that got those degrees and are bragging about it and that like I'm better than you kind of type thing, I cannot stand that because to me, it's an inferiority complex anyway. It's inside them that they want to feel, you know, superior because they feel inferior inside, you know, because a true learner, if you're really a lifetime learner, and I try to be, you always learn something. Doesn't matter what, you know, degrees you have, but even though you already have that terminal degree, your doctorate degree, you continue to learn, right? Because there's not enough, you know, brain in the you know in your in your head to learn to know everything in this world. There's a lot of things here that when I'm next to my husband, who's an electrical engineer, I feel like a dummy. I feel like, oh my God, I don't know much, you know, because he is so knowledgeable, especially on, of course, electronics and about astronomy and other things that he knows a lot about. And, but you also, like as teachers, we know education. And I could really say that, you know, that maybe, you know, some people will call me an expert, but, you know, maybe I would accept that, but an expert that's have limited expertise, you know, things that from my experiences and from the learning that I have from you guys, you know, from other people that I meet in my life, I feel like we continue to learn. And I think that's what, if you look at life like that, you know, Zoom or even, you know, when you meet people, I think that's a good thing because you are leaving your mind open. Like I'm open for learning, you know, because then you have a growth mindset. And a growth mindset means that your favorite word is yet, Y-E-T, yet. I'm not there yet, but I'm continuing to learn. I'm not an expert yet, but I continue to, you know, learn more in order for me to be considered that. You know, of course, education is, I'm obsessed with it and I'm obsessed with helping teachers coming here. Because I felt like that was my next calling after being in education, that I felt like now it's my, you know, now that I'm retired, since 2016, I've been retired. that I need to help others. I need to bring international teachers here, especially Filipino teachers, because I know how to help them. I know how to help them, connect with administrators. I know how to help them with interviews and with visas and all that. And with Mike and Erwin and everybody here, Joel and Myrna, I have a lot of resources now. Mike has been I think the biggest recruiters, here. He has brought in a lot of his friends and students here. And I have to say, I'm nearly 200 now on the people that I brought here since 4 years ago. So about 180 something, I think, is what it is on my list. But anyway, but there's a lot here that are not, they just do not show up anymore, but they have emailed me saying, I'm already here. And I guess that they're so busy, they're not, I'm always trying to invite them, like, come and then talk to us about your experiences. And so when you already come here in the US, I really appreciate it when you come back and talk to us about your experiences, just like Joel did. Joel just arrived here and he's sharing now about his experiences being in the US because he's now living with Mike, right? Mike, is that a temporary thing, Mike, or are they looking for a house?
Yes po.
Temporary, permanent.
Temporary permanent.
Well, that's a good thing because there's no pressure. If something
po.
shows.
And then actually po, we're planning to look for a bigger house with 2 bathrooms po.
Oh, definitely. If you have 2 families, you have to have 2
Yes
bathrooms.
po. And also to save po while they are
Well, adjusting.
Yeah.
they are still adjusting as well.
Yeah. Did you already buy a car? Did they already get a car, Mike?
Soon po.
Okay. Okay.
Yes po.
Now we will check.
Yeah, now today po we will try to check po dun sa
Okay.
kausap po pong agent po.
Well, if you don't want to buy a brand new car, I have a used car, but a Toyota Prius. I'm trying
Yeah,
to
we
get.
heard that po.
But
And
anyway,
also po yes po, I just want to share po to your thoughts po yung kanina. When you are here in the USA, avoid saying in the Philippines, in my classroom, when in my class like that, it's a big no-no po here in the USA because it's different. And also, according to Mamirna, remove your crown in the when you are here in the USA because it's really different. So whatever you are doing in your class, maybe it might effective here in the USA.
yeah, you can try, but then if it doesn't work, you just
Yeah.
monitor and adjust are the 3 words I like. You always
Yes, po.
monitor if it's working or not, and then adjust it. Because strategies. People from different parts of the
Yes.
world. Yeah, but then how the kids take it, gonna be different because of their experiences as students, right? So you want to
Yes,
know
po.
what worked.
Yes.
You just have to.
Ikaw na.
Hey,
Gusto
there's
mo?
Myrna.
Ikaw na? Ano?
Hi,
That's
Mike.
really,
Go
Ano,
ahead.
drive?
Di ba,
yeah, there's one thing really that is very important,
Mamaya,
as I
may
said
mas
a while
mabuti.
ago. We may have so many achievements back in the Philippines, but once you're here in the USA, we need to adjust, try to see things first, what fits best to our students, and really to remove the crowd because when we're all back to zero, we are here to learn again.
Good. Very
While
good.
we
Very,
share.
very good point. Myrna's also got her doctorate degree. It's one of the she's very simple and humble about it, and I love that. But so anyway, but yeah, those remove your crown is a good one because in the Philippines we are treated like royalty as teachers, right? I remembered a friend of mine that said a Japanese friend of mine said, "Oh no, don't wash dishes because you're a teacher," and I'm saying, "So I'm a teacher, so what?" He said, "Well, in Japan, we really respect teachers and we don't want them to." I'm like, "No, we're in America now. I'm helping you. I'm guest at your house and I want to help you because we use all these plates. I want to help you wash the dishes. There's nothing, no work in this world that I do not do." Yeah, for others or for people. If somebody throw up, I just go grab something and clean it up. "Oh no, Dr. McCullough, don't do that because we have janitors." And I'm like, "No, they're not here. I'm here." So I go clean it up. And so there's nothing, it should not be something that you do not want to do if it's decent, right? If it's something for the students, if you have your heart in the right place, you do what's good for students. And if you do that as your guide, you could never go wrong, right? Because it's for your kids. It's something good for your kids, you do it. Okay, and so removing your crown is such a very, very Myrna thing to say, but a very good thing to say. Yeah, remove our crown. We are not in the pedestal anymore. That, you know, we always, I think in Asian countries especially, we put our educators or teachers on the pedestal. Like they're up here and we are like, oh, we're demanding something that you have to respect. No, respect me. Nope. You have to earn that. Okay, you have to earn it. So those that had been here a long time, for example, Maria, she was my first one that I brought here, and she's been here 4 years. This is the 4th year. She already filed her extension from 3 years to 5 years, and she learned that. She has to learn things that, you know, what work in the classroom and what doesn't. So so anyway, any question from anyone? Let's see. Catherine is here. Catherine, did you want to talk, or are you already here in the US? Trying to look for my glasses. Somebody took my glasses. Anyway, so so it's Catherine or anybody. Fran, my cousin Fran is here too. Catherine, did you want to talk to us?
Hello, Doc.
Hey, what's up? What are you in the process? Are you have you applied in many places?
At the moment, Doc, I applied for Minnesota teaching license.
Okay, so you're applying for it right now.
Yes, Doc, but I haven't received yet the approved one. So
Okay.
we're still waiting for 20 days siguro po.
Okay, well, good luck on that. Okay, keep me updated though. Giselle, Giselle, do you mind posting because Mike is in the car, posting the link to those 50 states, please, Giselle. Okay, the 50 states and the US that I have researched, and so all you have to do is open that Google what was that, Google Sheet, and you can click on the different states and then go apply. Those are the top 10 to 20 schools sizes in that state. So you pick a state that you want, like, you know, she's staying in Minnesota, so she must be thinking about teaching in Minnesota. And so you can then click on it and apply, because or if you don't want to do that, just Google the capital of the state. Or you can either go to Google or ChatGPT and say list the states of the US and its capital, and then it should list it. And after that, you go you Google that that name of the for example, ours in Little Rock, so you can put Little Rock School District, Arkansas. You know, some of them have the same names in different states, so you have to put the state. So then that is the biggest school district in the whole state. So that's going to have a lot of schools. In Arkansas alone, in Little Rock alone, they have 123 elementary schools. So they have big districts. So they're spread all over the place. And then of course they have, I don't know how many high schools they have. They have so many middle schools. So Google that state and the capital, and then just put school district with it. And of course, if you're really adamant about, like, for example, teaching in Arkansas, Missouri, wherever you want to choose, then start working on your certification from that state. The Philippine license has reciprocity to every state in the US, so 50 states. So all you have to do is go to that state. For example, Arkansas, it's Arkansas Department of Education. You put that in quotation, and then you go under licensure, and then under reciprocity. So under licensure, it's going to be under licensure on every state, you know, whatever it is that you're gonna whatever state you want to teach at. If you look at the map in the US, the southern state, which means Arkansas down. You know, if you look at the map, it's going to be Arkansas and down. So you're going to be including, of course, Louisiana, Texas, you know, Texas actually southwest already. So it's already west. But I think Arkansas and to the east of it, which means, you know, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, you know, the Carolinas and so on. Those are South Carolina, North Carolina, you know, Virginia, West Virginia. Those are some warmer places. Okay, so but if you're gonna go to cold places, you're gonna go to the northeast part of the U.S. That's where the 13 colonies are. You know, where, you know, the Pennsylvania, those you know, all those Virginia, all those other places that are cold. New York, New Jersey, you know, Rhode Island. Those are Maryland, very cold. So if you look at the map, the closer they are to Canada, you know, where Maryland is on the top, the closer they are in Canada, the colder it is. Okay. But if you want really warm, like the Philippines, you're gonna want to go to California, Florida, or Hawaii. Those are Hawaii especially is very much like the Philippines. It's like a to me, it's like a luxurious and more expensive Philippines. You know, it's very similar. Lots of Filipinos that you see everywhere. Lots of Filipino restaurants, but very expensive. Like here in Arkansas right now, that the dozen eggs is like $2.39 to $2.50, which is about if it's 60, so 120 plus 150 pesos a dozen, and in Hawaii it's $6, so it's more than double. Okay, and their milk is the same way. Well, it's $3 something here, and it's like close to $7 there. So it's nearly double because they have to ship everything there. You know, they are an island. They are like, you know, in its own. So everything has to be shipped there. So it adds a lot to it. When you go out to eat, in here, I guess in Arkansas, for example, you could get away with, like, if at lunch maybe less than $10, right, per person. So less than 500 per person or 600 per person pesos. But in Hawaii, it's more than $20 per person. So be ready if you are, you know, if you are a family, be ready to spend more than $100, more than 6,000 pesos for, you know, one meal in a restaurant. So a lot of times, you know, it's better to cook. You know, like Mike and Myrna and Joel and them are sharing a house, so they divide everything by half. You know, so if the house is $1,000 a month, then they're only paying 500. And if they do that with food, where they put their grocery bills together and they split it every time, that's also gonna help both families. And that's why it helps. But the disadvantage of that is you don't have your own privacy. You know, so you know, is it sometimes you would say, is it worth my privacy where I don't have my own home? But sometimes it is worth it, especially if you're trying to save money and you're trying to pay bills and debts that you might have, you know, to come here. So that's a good solution, and that's very nice of Mike to host Joel and Myrna and their child in their home. Which, Mike, have I been to your new house? I don't think I have I? Or is he still here? I don't think I have. I think they moved to a new house and I've not been. So Wednesday night, I'm gonna be there in the same hotel I always stay. So I'm hoping that that Mike and Myrna and them, I hope you do come. They don't allow anybody under 21. So you'll have to leave your son with somebody because they don't allow anybody under 21. So because it's a casino hotel thing. So yeah, there's a nice buffet there. And so anyhow, I will talk to you about it, but I'll be there Wednesday night, and I'll be at your school Thursday morning and afternoon, so all day.
Okay, Polo.
Yeah. Hello, I see your beautiful daughter. Hey, how are you? How are you? Are you you're not into vehicles, are you? I mean, are you following?
Only one po.
Okay, so not everybody's there.
Don't have yet.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay. So anyway, questions from anybody? Mike, do you have any last minute thing that you want to say to them that you haven't talked to them about?
Yes po. So you mentioned a while ago about the October's interview. So wait for that po, because all the J1 visa sponsors or slots will be opening soon po, and then probably they will start to interview some applicants.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Mike, because the new slots will be open October 1.
Yes
October
po,
1.
and also yes po, and then the first thing that they should do is have their FCE.
Yep, foreign credential evaluation, FCE. Yep,
Yes,
go to www.spantran.com. And if you, you know, I think it's going to be more than $200, going to be more than 10,000 pesos, but it's worth it because anything that you apply here in the US, when you get your licensure, they're going to need that FCE, foreign credentials evaluation. So make sure that you have that. That's a very, very big one that you need to have. In fact, most schools might want your resume, cover letter, and then your FCE to know what you're certified in. It will show show what are the things that you know, if you have your master's degree in something, or you know what classes, whatever that you've taken. So FCE is a good thing to start with. You know, some people would start with their passport, but FCE, you know, while you're getting your passport in, if you don't have one, then you need to start working on your FCE. And then after that, you're going to decide what state am I going to want to go to. And then once you've decided that, start applying. You can go to www.schoolspring.com. You can filter that. If you rather have a state thing, you can filter it by states. You know, of course, you need to check off the other filters like full-time. You don't want the part-time. You should always get a full-time teaching job, you know, because a visa will not be approved if you're not a full-time teacher. Okay, so do not get any part-time, do not get anything that says substitute. I would avoid things that says pool, POOL, because that means they're just interviewing you for a future thing. So unless you really, really, really want to teach at that school and you want to be part of the pool, you know, I would do that next after, you know, the actual one that they're needing somebody now. And, you know, sometimes, you know, schools, which is good for them, that they would plan ahead. They want to have a pool of teachers that they already have, so that if they have an opening, they have this pool that they've already interviewed. So I guess it really would not hurt that you do that, but concentrate on the ones that are wanting teachers now. Okay, and what you'll find is that some schools that have never hired international teachers, they're going to be lost. They don't know what to do. So if the case, you need to give them my information. Okay, give them of course my email is mcculloughmerlina@gmail.com. You can look at the spelling under my picture, and then they could email me, or they could Google. They can Google a K1 visa form. Okay, US, because they will see the instructions. The instructions would tell you exactly what to do. In fact, you know, that's why they said, you know, do not hire an immigration attorney if you don't have a complicated case, because you really can just read directions and be able to do it. But of course, if you have a very complicated deal, that's when you need an immigration lawyer, you know. But if you are able to connect with a visa sponsor, they will do that for you. You know, they will, you know, they will pretty much tell you what to do. So a lot of the if you, for example, if you already found a place in www.schoolspring.com, you need to apply there. And then if you get a visa, if you get a job offer, JO, then that's when you make sure you find a visa sponsor from the designated visa sponsor list. And then you hook up with that. culturalvistas.org is my partner. So, you know, for transparency. So you can try with Caroline and see if the school that you're applying is going to be, you know, acceptable for their sponsorship, because every visa sponsor has their own guideline. Okay. Some of them are stricter than others. Like, that's why some of them would accept bachelor's degree and they don't require masters, but most of them would want you to have your master's degree. And so because just because it's easier to get approved, it's easier in the embassy to show that you are a master teacher. Although for immigration purposes, actually, a 10-year of experience, what did it say? 10-year of experience, or was it 5 years? Of a plus bachelor's degree is actually considered master's. But it doesn't still hurt to have your actual master's degree in order for it to show up on your FCE, on your foreign credential evaluation. It will show up that you have a master's degree. It doesn't matter. And the most common degree I notice in master's is your administration one. You know, that seems like a bunch of the Filipino applicants are having the administration degrees, and that's fine. You know, you have your master's degree. That's what they're looking for. Okay. If you are thinking that you have a bachelor's right now and you are thinking really seriously about coming, I would recommend getting special ed, like Mike said, because special ed is really a big shortage right now. You know, next to that would be your math teachers, science teachers, literacy. I don't know, it's hit and miss, but math teachers and high school math and high school science seem to be a really hard to find. 1 year, I remember when I was administrator, my boss was asking me, Merlina, you need to find some math teachers, you know, some math teachers for us, because nobody applied. And so I actually called universities here. We had like, I think I called 5 universities and asked if like, how many, in the teacher department, how many graduates did you have of math folks, math major? And they were giving me less than 5, so this math teachers went somewhere and then they're gone. So because most of our math, math-minded folks did not go into education. They went into nursing, they went into, medical fields or engineering fields. They went to those. They did not go into teaching because teaching is really not very, it's a very good profession, but it's not very high paying compared to the other, degrees, of course. The teaching here in Arkansas starts at 50,000, but I think Missouri is 40. So different states will have their own different beginning salary. Arkansas just got raised by our new governor. It got raised to 50. But before, we were always like, if you rank the whole 50 states, we were always number 49. And number 50 usually is Mississippi. So it used to be that common saying is like, thank goodness for Mississippi, because Arkansas is now not 50, it's 49. But because of the governor's raise to 50,000, we are not, I think our ranking is really better because we have some states now that are way lower than us. I can't believe we are higher than Missouri, because in the past, Missouri has always been higher than Arkansas. So I saw a news article the other day, and they said they just raised it to 40,000 a year. And compared next, they just travel to the next few miles. And if they go to the border of, Arkansas and Missouri, they could go to Arkansas and get $10,000 more dollars. That's the thing with the US, we drive everywhere. And so, it's not like for me, I drive 40 minutes and I'm already in Missouri. 30 minutes, I'm on other part of Missouri. But in Thayer, Missouri, for example, there's a school there. And if for example, a teacher in Arkansas is retired, and this actually happened to a friend of mine, she retired and then she wanted a second retirement check. And so she went to Missouri. And so she worked there for 5 years after retiring in Arkansas with 30 plus years. She worked for 5 years and now she's getting 2 retirement checks. Because I think the formula for Missouri is your age plus your experience has to be 80 years old. So if you are 50 years old and have 30 years of experience, that's already 80. And then the minimum to have is 5. So once you get your 5, you can retire. Okay. And then in Arkansas, you have to have 28 years in. If you have 28 years of service, then you can retire. It doesn't matter what age you are. So if you started at 23 years old plus 28, you're only 51, you're retired. I was 48, I retired. And so, so yeah, because I started in the Philippines, and, in the Philippines, we didn't have 11th and 12th then. So I graduated early, but in high school. But anyway, so that's what it is. Different states in the US would have different rules, but the J1 and the H1B visa would be, that's a federal level, that's a national level. So it's going to be the same in any state. So if you have a K1 visa, or a J1 visa or H1B visa, it's not going to change. Doesn't matter what state you are in, it's going to be the same rule. If you want to know the instructions, you just type that visa and put form with it, because then, or instructions with it, and it would show you an instruction, and it would show you the things that you need, a list of your requirement, really. So that's what everybody will be reading, is about the instruction on how to apply. So we are good at reading, hopefully, as teachers, we're good at reading, for watching our, what direction will say. So we should be okay. Okay. Try not to find any agency where they have to have you pay something big and in the promise that you're going to be sent here. That's usually a red flag. If they want a few $1,000s from you, more than 100,000 pesos from you, and just a promise that you're going to be here, don't do it. Okay. So in order for you to really pay, you better have a job offer already from a school, and you need to have, and your designated sponsor need to be on that list of designated US sponsors for J1 visa. Okay. Because, and if you are wondering, you can email me, because, or Mike, or whoever you want to email, or, or message us on the group chats or Facebook, because I don't want you to get swindled. Some people would pay a lot, thousands of pesos, or dollars, and then it's nothing. Somebody just fooled you, and it's a fake one. They disappear and you don't know where they are, and they already got your money. Don't do that, okay? Avoid doing that, because if you really have a school that's serious about hiring you, they're going to pay most of it, what they can pay. Hopefully you'll find a school that will pay 100%, that would actually pay for every expense there, and then plus your ticket. And then you also know how supportive they are based on who's going to meet you in the airport, and then are they helping you find a house. Of course, in the housing part, I always get emails on this. Go to zillow.com, zillow.com, and then you filter it by the state or the name of the town that you're in, and you can see the houses and the apartments available and how much they are, in order for you to know the budget part. The closer you are to, or if you are in the capital of any state, is going to be more expensive. Okay, but if you go to a smaller school, so like Arnell did, their smaller school, then it's a smaller town, they're going to be cheaper. So they said 2,400 for 4 people, that's $600 each. That's pretty high actually, but obviously they have a really nice house. If it's that big, and if that's expensive, that's a very nice house, very big house, with everybody having their own bedroom. And it's always a good idea to have your own bedroom. You may share a house, but having your own bedroom, really, I think, to me, that's a big plus. That's a must for privacy. And with our kids, of course, in the Philippines, we are so used, the kids are okay with them, not having their bedroom. But if in America for long, later on, your kids are going to want their own bedroom. So our Philippine kids, to me, are, I think, more adaptable to that. But the US kids, because of what we're used to, my kids who were born here are now 25 and 34. So I think they would still camp out, like, temporarily. They would still like sleep on the floor if I need for them to, but they're not used to it, because growing up, they've always had their own bedroom. That's what it is in America, is the kids always have their own bedroom. And of course, if you have a big family, they might have a bedroom for the boys and a bedroom for the girls. That's in the Philippines. That's what we always kind of had, my 3 sisters and I, 4, and then there's the 2 boys. They have they're separated from us. But kind of, I guess it depends on where you are in the US. So right now we are, I think, in Arkansas alone, we have maybe 60 or 70 teachers spread out all over Arkansas. And so right now, this year, we have another 50 possibly, because there's so many in Little Rock, there's so many in North Little Rock, so many, in Hope and other places. They have hired a few Filipino teachers. So I don't even know. I mean, I'm planning to have a list of them, to email these administrators and find out how many Filipino teachers they have, so I could visit them and see what I can do to help them. Because when you first get here, if you don't have that support, that's really hard. That's really hard to have, to come to a new place and nobody supporting you. Okay, so any question? Because we need to be done. I know we were 1 hour late starting, but until October 1, when the visa slots are open, the new ones for next year, there's really not much topic unless you have a question. And that's why, when I was talking to a while ago to Miss Tu, Janelle, that was good, because I was able to, to share some things that, some of you really, oh yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, but hopefully that helps you out. Okay, so there's Ken. Ken, you want to talk to us, Ken? Tell us about Blytheville this year. Ken is one of the leaders here in Blytheville. I think there's 8 of them in their school. Ken, did you get more teachers this year?
Well, actually, sad to say, our school did not hire Philippine teachers because there are some issues that was yet to resolve, and yeah, the school district wasn't able to hire Philippine teachers. It's because I think there are still things that the district has to learn about the cultural exchange program, I guess. Like they still have to strengthen how they can support and how teachers are welcomed here, something like that.
Okay, yeah. So is that the issue by the J1 sponsors? They have an issue.
It's not an issue. It's the issue on the superintendent.
Ah,
Yeah. So, and our superintendent here was terminated by the school board.
when?
I think that was July before the start of the class.
Oh, so who is your new superintendent now?
But we have an interim superintendent. My former principal, high school principal, was the interim superintendent. And what's new about the state is that we the elementary school have revised the curriculum. I think they changed the curriculum. And for high school, it's still the same. And what else do we have here? It's like, intervention programs have been added in our class, like Lexia.
Oh,
This
okay.
gonna be like,
Ken, do you mind turning your camera on? There's nothing on the screen. I don't know
well,
if it's.
I'm sitting down actually waiting for the cab to pick me up here.
Ah, okay, you got it. So you have cars now? One of you have a car now to drive around?
Well, actually, one of my friend, my roommate, have practiced already. He got his license, so he passed the test. So he's going to have, yeah, his license later, and he is able to practice now along the road, along the highway. So probably it's gonna be better late in a few days to come.
Okay. Well, that's good because I hated for you to be stuck there. I was, for a long time, I'm like, well, I need to go pick them up and see, show you around or whatever. But, so hoping that one of you or two of you will have a vehicle and you could go to places. You have gone to different places here, Ken, right? Because I know you have somebody that you know. You have
Well,
gone.
actually, last summer, what I did actually, I did go home because again, I'm also saving money. I get the chance to join different professional development programs here in Arkansas. So, fortunately, I was one of the teacher chosen to join the Arkansas History Institute. So, I get a chance to know more about the history of Arkansas since I'm teaching Arkansas history right now in the school. So I get a chance to know more about the history of the state of Arkansas, the different counties, yes, and some strategies in teaching history. And I was able to join the Economics Arkansas. It's the one good thing here in the state of Arkansas is that there are lots of uh, non-government organizations who are focusing on training and development as well as development for students that are free, and they're given stipend when you join the training. So it's like, oh, it was not happening. It did not happen in the Philippines when I was still a teacher there.
Yeah, they pay
Because
well here,
here
don't they? Yeah, it's a good way to make
they
extra
pay
money.
it. I got the chance to be paid like $100 per day as a stipend, and that was a 5-day professional development program, which was held in Jonesboro. So I get the chance to see some other teacher from all over Arkansas. So luckily, I was the only international teacher.
Wow, very good for you. I'm proud of you.
So
So that's like
I get the
30,000
chance.
pesos in 5 days. Awesome.
Yeah, I get a chance to see all the different historical spots that helped in the formation of the state of Arkansas, like the different museums, like the Ernest Hemingway Museum. I get a chance to see that and explore lots of primary and secondary sources because in teaching history, it was really emphasized in the curriculum in the America, and not was it wasn't really emphasized in the Philippine curriculum when it comes to social studies teaching. Is like developing the skill of analyzing primary sources of information in history. So these things really helped a lot in understanding historical concepts because I get the chance to see, realias, the old documents and photographs, the
Very
old
good.
cotton industry, like in the northeastern part where Mississippi County we are located. I get a chance to know more about this county where it was the center for cotton industry, and that made Arkansas one of the third largest producing cotton state and the cotton history. I get a chance to see the plight of the farmers before in the Great Depression And Johnny Cash was very influential during President Nixon's when President Nixon was the president of the United States at that time. It was Johnny Cash was that singer. So I get a
Singer,
chance
yeah.
to get to visit his house and the
Yes.
Parkins his heritage site. I was able to see that the heritage site where it was the first site where in the old Native American Indians thrived, and then Hernando de Soto, the first I think the first Spanish explorers who have reached this place. So
Very good. You sound like you have
yeah.
really done a lot. Tell me some 2 or 3 strategies that you are planning to use or you're already using based from these trainings. Like what kind of
Well,
specific?
I get a chance to use the PACE decision model, wherein it's actually used. I attended in Little Rock a professional development on advise the president, because before, when President Clinton was the president of the United States, he usually did not decide by himself. He has to, gather all the members of the cabinet and discuss and if there's a certain issue that the country is facing, so he has to ask some 2 groups. And then that is why the PACE decision model making was really useful in teaching history, because it gets a chance that students have to to find 3 alternatives for the solution and evaluate if these solutions can really answer a specific issue, not just in the economic issues but also in historical text. So I get a chance to use that in my classes, and the document-based DBQ teaching method in teaching history. So it was pretty nice. And also learning
Document-based what?
stations. I believe that most teachers in the Philippines have used that probably, but I think it's very suitable in American classrooms
Which
wherein
one
you
is it?
have
I'm sorry. Which one? Which method?
learning stations.
Oh
Learning
yeah, learning stations.
stations
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
was really nice. I get a chance.
Stations. Yeah.
Yeah. I did that in my activity on analyzing sources of documents, primary sources. I featured the Great Depression, which was the darkest hours in American history, the darkest part, because at that time, people's lives, Americans' lives, was so miserable in that time because they're facing starvation, the economic was down, stock market crash, banks are closed, farmers have sold their lands and they couldn't redeemed it because they have lots of money loaned from the banks or something like that. They lost their money. So it was really I get a chance to have use primary documents, and of course put it in different learning stations where it actually develops students different skills. But one good thing is that you should have to one issue that I have really here is more on classroom management. Yeah, that's why you really have to have a structured classroom environment or classroom. You have a structured classroom management, because it really, if you mean it, you really have to do it, because some students wouldn't, if you're not strict about your classroom expectations, like you would have to remind them every day. It's not going to work.
Not good.
Okay.
Yep. You have
Yeah.
to stick
And
with
at
your
some
rules.
point, I feel discriminated. I feel discriminated, Dr. Merlina, in the sense that um, at some point, if you mispronounce their names, they're gonna laugh at you. Okay.
Do you correct
And
them? Like I always tell my students that, hi guys, you know that English is my second language. So if I have a mistake, I'm looking for spies and you're gonna correct me, but you have to be respectful in correcting me. I will
that's
never
what I'm
take it
trying to
personally.
build
Yeah.
in
You
the
say that.
classroom,
Yeah.
because some students are just I would say, like, they're so meticulous sometimes, and you pronounce their names and you pronounce it um incorrect, like you mispronounce it. Oh my God, they're gonna laugh at you. That's one thing that I want to tell them, that I'm not from your country. My accent is different from yours. So let me learn that, how to pronounce that name, but you're not gonna laugh at me. But at some point, there are really those students who would really laugh at you, that I'm still struggling how to impose the discipline on this matter, because it's not good. Because if one student did that, he or she became toxic to other, influential. So
But
it's gonna ruin your.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ken, that's a part of respecting. When you set the rules and expectation, that should be part of it. Like, I when people would do that, I would say, hey guys, what if you go to the Philippines, okay? You go to Philippines and I'm expecting you to learn Filipino and you're supposed to pronounce something in my language. So then I started talking Filipino to them and they said, okay, did you understand what I said? Oh no. And I'm like, well, that's exactly what it is with us. We are speaking and we are with a different language. And if you go to Philippines, you may be experiencing that. So I want you to put
Those are actually the struggles of Philippine teachers. But I told my students that you should be grateful because you get the chance to experience foreign teachers. And when a school has employed foreign teachers, that means that you are really adopting the 21st century culture because you get the chance to see exchange of teaching practices, how teacher teaches a specific content, which is probably you can find similarities and differences. So that would help you to become successful. So I told them that a lot of times. And some of them are asking, are you going to be here for like looking for a green card? Because that's the purpose of most Asians here, like to become residents here. Now, I told them that no, that is not my purpose here. I'm here for cultural exchange. So after my program, I'm coming back to my country and yeah, share what I have learned from these experiences. So you got to be, share me good experiences, though there are bad experiences, but I would like that good experiences were really overwhelmed, not the bad experience.
Right. But those kind of, those kind of questioning, it sounded like have a rude, intonation there. Those are things that we could open up and talk, but we also need to always tell them, did
Yeah.
that sound like, did that sound kind to you? I always say, did that sound kind to you? Did that sound mean? Did that sound rude? It sounded rude to me. So how will we fix it where it doesn't sound rude? I know you want this. And then I would make it like an explanation, but always correct students. When they're saying something that's inappropriate, I don't care what, you just say, this is not school appropriate thing to say. This,
Yeah, I was like
yeah,
laughing to them. Sometimes like, it's so ironic. I'm teaching in your history. I'm in a foreigner here. So I think it's just the same. And one thing that I don't know how to say this. Like most of my students, when I teach Arkansas history, like two teaching what's this review. Oh my God, I need to review all the different symbols and the different state symbols of Arkansas, um, because some of them didn't know about it. Even the states that surrounds the state of Arkansas, the 6 geographical regions of Arkansas, they didn't know that. And even when I gave them the map of the United States, a blank map, and locate the different states, some of them didn't know where Arkansas is located. So I have to reteach them.
yeah. Because when I was teaching, I've taught
So it's
elementary.
like I'm
Yeah,
learning the history of
yeah.
this place, but
You learn it
I'm
with them.
also teaching it in my own perspective. But I gotta be like change my perspective. I'm changing my perspective into American. Though I'm not American in the aspect of teaching.
Yeah. Yeah. I think good learning there from your part.
So
I
gone are
really
the
think,
days like you're a Philippine teacher. Oh my God, you need to change those perspectives that you have yours way back in the Philippines because it's gonna be a little I don't know, some of them it's a little different, but some of it's a big different. But for me, it's like, a little different here when teaching foreign students, American students.
yeah, but
But
it's also
there are
depending
lots
on
of
where
them who
you
are really
are.
lovable. They're, show respect. Probably it depends on the family's
Yeah.
upbringing.
Yeah, but Ken, it also
Yeah.
how you set up your classroom. In my classroom, I had never had any problems with that because our first month of school is set up like that. It's set up like this is a classroom. We respect each other. This is like a family, and in families we don't do this. And so that
And
first month, a lot
you
of
gotta be
correction.
careful too, ma'am. You gotta be careful to like say for example, there are students who are really rights oriented. Like I have a confront I met a student who was like, I try to confiscate the phone because we have no cell phone policy, but I do it in the third time. But you know what he did? he hid it in his phone. When I tried to confiscate it, I really have to show it to his classmates. But what he did, he told me, "Oh, you are taking off my shirt. I'm gonna tell it to the principal. The camera will tell. I supposed to be taking that phone of yours, but you hide it in your shirt. I'm not taking off your shirt. What do you mean?" So I'm gonna tell you to the principal. Tell it. The camera will show.
I don't know. Whenever you become you know, I guess
We just have to be careful in handling
confrontation.
kids here because they're really
Yeah.
rights oriented.
Yeah, but you are confrontational. You avoid being confrontational as a teacher. If they're gonna do that, I'm like, okay, let's just go to the principal's office. You go to the principal's office right now. You know, you do not
The
want
one
to have
thing,
that confrontation.
yeah, I mean, multi-class, the good thing here is the support of the multi-classroom leaders in their opportunity culture thing. Uh, they really help us suggest some ways and how to manage the students because to be honest, I really have some classroom management issues, uh, especially if the class is bigger. Like if the class is bigger, I really have those classroom management issues. Like my multi-class leader taught me some different tips. Like I was reviewed on the process of putting a student on a referral, like first offense, there's a behavior log and there's
Yeah.
lists of behavior,
Yeah.
incidents that students did.
Okay.
So first
All right.
time you need to, those things. So I need to, to implement that so that, my teaching is going to be better, but I'm still, in step one word, laban lang gyapon.
Yeah, you continue to fight. But I'm telling you, when you have established your rules, routines, and procedures the first month, you should not have that much issue because if you do not have that established, then you struggle with it all year long. Okay, so continue to be persistent and be patient about it, but establish it.
Yeah.
Establish that not really control, but it's really more of a respect, respect theme
That's
or
not what
respect
it said. What do you want?
environment.
Look what it said.
Respectful environment. Yeah. Well, thank you, Ken, for sharing. And I'm gonna see if there's other people that want to share. My cousin Fran, Ken is from Karkar to Fran. I don't know if you know each other, but I know that Ken's bunch there in Blytheville, Arkansas, they have a bunch of Karkar folks there. In fact, yeah, I think that's what Ken said, if I remembered it correctly. Fran, what are you doing on your applications? Have you I know you applied at Juneau too, didn't you? Alaska?
Yes, yes.
Fine. Okay.
Good evening. Good morning, Dan. Yes, we
Morning.
apply also from Anchorage.
Oh,
We
Anchorage.
also
Okay.
apply there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very cold there, so
Hopefully.
be ready. If you get higher there, it's gonna be cold.
Yeah.
It's very cold. I have not been to Alaska,
Yeah.
but I'm thinking about an Alaskan cruise one of these days, because that's on my bucket list. I want to go to Alaska. So, Fran, I continue to be patient with it. October 1, more visa slots will be available. So I want you to continue applying at www.schoolspring.com because if they're looking for elementary teachers, the three of you are my three that I always send first. Okay, because I want you, I think there's only three of you left from the West Memphis 13, right? I think there's only
Yeah.
all the high school teachers have been hired in other places. But the three elementary, you are the ones left. Just because there's so many elementary teachers here already. Yeah.
Yeah, Ma'am Giselle is she's studying now as a sped sped.
Yeah, you
Ma'am
should do
Giselle,
that too if you can. You should do that if you can.
I try to also.
Yeah.
I try to also.
Is it expensive there? Like, what is the degree? Like, how much is it to get a degree in the Philippines in masters? How much would be the total cost?
We talked, Ma'am Giselle, the other day. Maybe it cost in one semester. Maybe it cost for the whole one. Maybe it cost 50.
50, so $1,000. So
Yeah.
that's how many semesters do you have to go though? How many?
I think 3 or 2.
So that's
It depends upon the
$4,000.
unit.
Yeah. So it's about half or a third of what it is in here. So here in America would be about 10,000 for a master's degree, maybe 12. But so yours is for about 4,000. So you're about a third of what it is in the US. And here in the US, most of the master's degree are actually online now. So if you go to www.astate.edu, that's my alma mater, Arkansas State University. It's 100% online. So when I was teaching for them, they actually, most of my students are everywhere in the world. They were from, I always like, I'm being a data geek. I always want to know which states they are, because the first assignment they have is to introduce themselves and also have an avatar for themselves. Like if you are create an avatar, or 1 year I said, if you're an animal, put your animal there. Well, what would you be? What would you be if you were an animal or a Walmart item? So be creative like that. But anyway, so I got to know where they were, from what state. And I know I've got some from Germany, some military, their husbands were in the military. So their wives were getting their master's degree through Arkansas State. And so we were getting, and I think at that time, Arkansas State University, they were saying, like they can, of course, for Americans, they were able to help them get a loan. And it was like about $10,000. So it's about 600,000 an hour, 600,000 in Filipino money. And that's for the whole degree. And the whole degree is about a 1.5 years. So 18 months. They're done within 18 months. And that's still on right now. It's still online, astate.edu. So if you go www.astate, A for Arkansas, astate.edu, then they should be, I think they have their master's, they have specialist and doctorate degree online, 100%.
Oh, okay.
That's, of course, when I was going there, I did not, it wasn't in the 90s, late 80s, 80 something. It wasn't online yet. I had to actually go to Jonesboro, which is about 2 hours from me to drive. So I stayed in the dormitory while my husband was staying where we are now, but I stayed in the dormitory for like 3.5 years. And then after that, when I got my master's, I actually had to drive there once or twice a week after school. Like we had night classes or Saturday classes in order for me to do it. And then for my specialist degree, it was like Tuesday and Thursday. So after school on Tuesday and Thursday, we went and drove 2 hours one way, so 4 hours both ways. My mom used to come with me. I would leave her at Walmart or somewhere, where she could just go shopping while I go. She has fun with it. And then I take her out to eat first. We eat, and then after that, I'm taking a couple of classes. Then she's over there shopping, or she likes to talk to the same people. So she has, people from Kmart or people from Walmart that she eventually knew because she was always talking to them every week. I was there, but it was only a year, so it wasn't bad. And then for my doctorate degree, we had 2 years of classes, once a week. So I had a friend that rode with me. So we just rode together. So it was like, yeah. So that, and then of course your research. So yeah, that's what it is in the US. So in the Philippines also, you have online classes now, right? Graduate degrees?
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Yeah, because my mind is I only get that one through online.
Online.
The
okay.
Pandemic, yeah.
Well, if you have that master's degree, the master started, I think what they want you to do for the immigration purposes is you have to be done within a year. So get as many classes as you want, and if you are going to finish within that year, they will go ahead and and consider that. But at least if you're already enrolled in it, that helps. So you can tell your visa sponsor that. Yeah. Okay. You have any question for me, Fran? Any question?
Not yet so far, but I have a lot of application. Maybe they contact you because you are the one references.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You're my cousin. I let you use me as many times as you can. But most of the time I tell people to limit 2 or 3 times that you would use me, because I don't want to have to do a million of them, and I don't really know. I know you so well. So it's fine. You can use me all the time. But I think Giselle the same, and Marlon. And I see Giselle, but I don't see Marlon here. Yeah.
Maybe Marlene is not around right
Okay,
now.
she's not here today. Okay. Well, anyway, tell everybody I said hello. I'm going to talk to Rose Hernandez. Thank you, Fran. And good luck, girl.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
let me know if I can help
Continue.
you.
We will
Okay.
push. We will push our one.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Rose Hernandez, if you want to talk to me before I sign off, you're the only one that I see right now that I've not talked to, that's left, that's still up. So
Rose, if you don't want to talk, some of you, you might just want to listen the first time you attend, and that's fine. That's very fine. Just like in our classroom, we'd never force our students to talk. If they don't want to talk right now, have them to write it or have them, do different ways. Do not ever put them in a corner and force them. That is never a good practice. Okay, so sometimes I would say to my students, okay, not today, but tomorrow or by Friday, I'm gonna expect you to share. Okay, because in this classroom, we're gonna share. Okay, I'm gonna let you write it the next 2 or 3 days, but then on Friday, I'm gonna expect you to talk. And that's, you kind of give them a warning about that. So at first they may want to just with their partner, they talk to the partner and the partner can help share with them. It's kind of do a scaffolding with them, a guide before you let them go, like, but you don't really want to ever say you have to threaten them. Never. That's never a good practice at all. Because students are going to want to win. If they, if you do that, they're going to want to make sure the teacher loses because they're trying to save their face in front of their classmates, especially middle school and up. So they're going to embarrass you. You don't want to go there. You don't muddle, you don't go to the mud with the pigs or something is the saying here. That if somebody's low, somebody's doing something like that, do not go there. Be the bigger person, including our students. We respect them always. I think that must be one of my favorite words in this world is like respect. If you have that, all things positive happen. But if you have that fixed mindset where you cannot learn anymore because I'm so good now, and that I cannot improve anymore because I've done this, I'm that. No, never. That's never good, because then you're not opening yourself up to new learning. So be a growth mindset. That's one of the things that I actually put on the recommendations, is that this person has a growth mindset. This person is very willing to learn and continues to learn, all this. And I'd put things like, this teacher, it should be an asset to your school or to your district, because this teacher has knowledge of students, knowledge of content, and would use assessment to drive their instruction. And of course, a very reflective and collaborative teacher. So those are the 5 core propositions I include whenever I write up a little recommendation, a short recommendation for someone. Like, Fran, I've written those things for you and Giselle and Marlon. But anyway, so all right, well, I think we're about to close up unless somebody has something else to say. Let me look at chat real quick. I think somebody Giselle was trying to put a link. What link is this, Giselle, that you have put in? Is this the 50 states?
Yes, Doc.
Yeah.
It's the
So those
50 states.
that are here, you go look at the chat and it has the 50 states link. If you want to, you pick a state you want to teach in and then go open that tab, and then you could just link on it and it will go straight to that to the school district's website where they're hiring. So you would see the hiring there. So that's a link that might be good for you to have, because it took me hours to put that together. So anyway, so yeah, that should help. And if you want that, you can always, of course, email me, McCulloughMerlina@gmail.com, and get that list from me. It's okay too. I have all kinds of things that I can send you whenever you send me your resume and cover letter. So there's always like a link to our YouTube. By the way, if you are not subscribing to our YouTube, be sure to do that. And also Facebook, because all of the information here are in our YouTube. So you just go over there and watch it, because and fast forward it, because some of them are really long. I think in the beginning we were doing the free account where it's limited to 40 minutes. So it was good because it was only 40 minutes, but I have, Form A, Form B, part B, part C. But later on, when I got this paid account, then we can do as many hours as we want. And it kind of got overwhelming. But today is 3 hours and 20 minutes. So it's not bad. It's not bad. So I'm trying to get out of here. So, okay. Well, that's all I have today. And so thank you so much for coming on and joining us. And hopefully we will see you. This is the 7th. So we're going to see you on the 21st. So we always skip the next Saturday. And then so the next Saturday will be the 21st. And we always use the same link. And it's the same time, 7 o'clock US time or Arkansas time. And then it's going to be 8 o'clock at night there in the Philippines. So because you're 13 hours ahead of us. Okay. All right. So with that said, I'm going to say goodbye and thank you so much and have a great day. And teachers do make a difference in the lives of kids. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks.
Bye. God
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
bless.
Okay. God bless.